What is up, YouTube? Birdland BS going live on Christmas Eve for Monday Night Football. We got the Oakland Raiders at home to take on the Denver Broncos in what should be a pretty unentertaining game. A game at least with no playoff implications, no anything other than, hey, we got football on Christmas Eve.
Unentertaining doesn't even begin to describe that, dude. Just saying.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. They got Marshall and Lynch out on the field out there to light the torches before the game. We're getting
probably
ready
the
for
last time they're going to
here.
ever light the torches.
Well, at least in Oakland.
Yeah,
anyway.
right.
And there's a lot of talk about where they're going to play next year. We'll see. As the Raiders are lined up to kick off here to the Broncos, we got Daniel Carlson lining up for the kick. Make sure while you're in the chat room, drop any comments, hit that thumbs up. Anything you guys want to talk about or interact with, let us know. This is going to be a hard one to get through, but we're going to do it for you guys, Christmas Eve style.
I forgot my Christmas hat, man.
It's all right. We wore those Christmas Eve or those Christmas hats out on our on our last
regular
show.
podcast.
All right, man. As we get set for this kickoff, man, this field just looks like it's in rough shape.
Well, it is played baseball, soccer, and football.
Wow.
You want to call the Broncos here?
No, you got it.
All right, and back to receive.
Looks like Philip Lindsay.
Philip Lindsay's coming out to about the 20-22. Fighting for an extra yard and not going to get much. Maybe out to the 23 here. Philip Lindsay has been really detrimental, or not detrimental to defense. Is 991 rushing yards, 230 reception yards, and 10 total TDs between the two. Strong running back for this Broncos team.
Yeah, considering he was an undrafted rookie this year, a guy that the Ravens, being Baltimore guys, were high on, undrafted. Ended up going to Denver, and he's been their one bright spot on offense.
All right. And Case Keenum under center. He's got Lindsay in the back. I'm sorry, it's not Lindsay. Who is that?
Yeah, it's Lindsay.
Is it Lindsay in the backfield?
I don't think it was Lindsay returning the kick. I made a mistake on that one, but that was Lindsay out there on that.
Oh. James in the house.
What's going on, James? Merry Christmas Eve. If you stay with us long enough, we may even take you into Christmas morning, depending upon how this damn game goes.
Can we not go that long?
I hope not.
I still got to put presents under the tree. I mean, I got to help Santa put some presents under the tree. All right, Keenum's going to line up under center. He's going to have Lindsay in the backfield. And
man down.
Yeah, my TV just went down. Lindsay's going to get the ball, hands it up, and hands it off to Lindsay, pushes it up the middle, gain of about 4 there. Apologize, my TV just straight went out right there for a second. As we look at this offensive line for the Broncos, no guy stands out of this team on the offensive line that's really been able to hold strong. On the wide receiving core, you have Cortland Sutton and Deshaun Hamilton, who have both been pretty helpful for Case Keenum when he has been able to throw the ball.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a throw out to Sanders. Sutton is going to get the first down and a little bit more. So we're going to see a 1st and 10 from about the 36-yard line. He's going to have 2 backs in the backfield, 2 wide receivers set, one to the left, one to the right. Puts the one in the left into motion from left to right. Hands it off to Lindsay. Lindsay's going to bounce out to the right and get clotheslined in the backfield for a loss of about 2, maybe it looks like there.
It looked like Talir Whitehead on the tackle there. So he got into the backfield, read that play right off the gate as he gets Lindsay wrapped up in the backfield for a loss.
Case Keenum, 62% completion percentage, 12 interceptions.
Yeah, I think he's wearing his welcome thin in Denver in his first year. I'm sure Elway and crew are not happy with his performance.
Not happy with what's going on, no. As we see Lindsay and Genovich lined up in the backfield in the eye. 2 wide receivers set to the left, 1 to the right. Fakes like he's going to throw, hands it off to Lindsey. Lindsey's going to get about 3 yards on the play, maybe 4.
There's
we have
a flag on the field.
First flag of the evening.
While we got you guys out there, again, Christmas Eve, want to wish everybody out there a Merry Christmas. Make sure you guys stay safe, have fun, hug your babies, kiss your family, all that good stuff. While you're here, hit that thumbs up. We appreciate that. Any comments that you guys have, not just even regarding this game, maybe your teams or any other games out there, drop your comments down in the field. We'll try to get to as many of them as possible. And it looks like they're going to call holding on the offense on this. It's going to repeat second down. It'll be a 10-yard penalty.
Our resident Cowboys fan in the house, Lisa.
Merry Christmas,
She
Lisa.
says Merry Christmas, same back to you.
Yeah, good to see you in.
Man, this is going to be a rough one to get through. This is already a slow start to this game. Yeah. When we're just sitting here not talking, it's literally them in the huddle. They're down to 15 seconds, and now they just broke the huddle for the Broncos. As we see him, Case Keenum line up in the gun this time. 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. 1 tight end set, puts him in motion from right to left. Drops back, throws it out to the tight end, and it's going to be... I don't know if he got to the line of game there. This looks like it's going to be a loss of 1.
Nick Morrow on the tackle there as he got him at the line of scrimmage, brought him back behind the line there. It'll be basically no gain on
Brian Parker on the reception.
Yeah, this is a Denver Broncos wide receiver core that's depleted. Obviously, they got rid of their top guy, and Demaryius Thomas. He's out in Houston now. They lost Emmanuel Sanders for the year with his injury. They've got a rookie in Cortland Sutton now as their number 1 guy. Going to be an interesting job here for
Keenum in the gun, 2 wide out to the left, 1 to the right, drops back, dumps it off to Freeman. Yeah, so out to about the 34-yard line, it looks like.
Actually, that might have been Booker.
Was it Booker?
Yeah. 23, is that Booker?
23 is Devontae Booker. That's correct.
Booker,
yeah.
Okay. Who y'all got winning? And Merry Christmas, says Isaiah Easton. I think the Broncos win this game. I mean, both of these teams, neither one of them are really playing for a whole lot. I think Oakland is in complete rebuild mode as they're trying to gather as many picks as they can. Not saying that they would lose this intentionally, but I don't think they're going to be playing as strong as they could. As the punt gets down at the 5-yard line, it's tipped.
Colby Wadman.
And it's stopped. But wait a minute. The Raiders pick it up, and they're taking it back. They're at the 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. He's at midfield, and he's gone. Touchdown, Oakland. Wow. On a play where the Broncos are trying to down the ball inside the 5-yard line. They don't corral the ball. The Raiders return guy picks it up, goes to the right side of the field, and returns that for a big touchdown.
Dwayne Harris on the 99-yard punt return. Here's the thing. It's just going to be interesting to see because this ball was touched. Does he touch this line? He is touching the line with his toe. This may get called back. It was who's 41 for... I am so out of sorts. I was not ready for this week.
Yeah, if that gets called back, that would just be a touchback. The Raiders would get the ball at the 25-yard line. We'll have to see what the call is.
So Isaac Yodom was back there, and it was originally touched, I believe, by River Craftcurt. And then Yadom, I guess is how you say it, Yadom touches the ball and trying to down it at the 1, but he lets go of the ball, and at the same time he's still touching it. I don't know if you saw it. I felt like his toe touched the line there.
His foot was definitely over the line or on the line, but the problem is the camera angle didn't show if his foot was actually touching the line. It's one thing if your foot is hanging in the air over the line, but if that doesn't matter, it's got to physically touch, and if it's physically touching the line, then yeah, that would be a touchback, and the Raiders would have the ball at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, and they're going to go to review here. Kathy says, who are you people? Well, that's Fred. I'm Scott. We're from Birdland BS. Normally, we are a Baltimore-based sports podcast. And for the past several weeks, we have been doing these live stream commentaries for the play-by-play of the Monday Night Football games. Just something that we decided to kind of pick up and do. We do not stream the actual game. You're getting our play-by-play as best as you can. This week, it's Christmas Eve edition.
That's right.
As everybody comes out and is looking for a potential stream. This isn't the greatest game in the world as far as two teams that have been struggling, and both the fan bases of those teams, I think, know that.
Yeah.
That's going to be one of the things that it'll be interesting to see in this game if the Raiders, does it make a statement if the Raiders can beat the Broncos?
Yeah, I mean, again, these are division rivals. These are two teams that do not like each other regardless of the playoff situation, regardless of the records. And you're talking about this could be a lot of an emotional game for Oakland. This could very possibly be the last game in Oakland in the Coliseum. So, I mean, there's a lot of emotional ties, and it's primetime football. So
Jim O asks, are you using a green screen? No.
We're sitting in the corner of the stadium. Doesn't it look like it?
Right.
Nah, yeah, we're using a green screen. It's new technology for us. Just a couple of guys in their basement trying to make it look official, make it look good, and giving our best go at it. As they're still under review on this play.
Ruling on the field, obviously a punt return touchdown here.
Right.
John Gruden, they're showing him talking with one of the officials now. It looks like he may be a little disappointed. I think he may have just gotten word that this is getting called back. Here's the shot that we're looking for as his toe is touching the line and he's touching the ball. That's a 99-yard punt return that's being brought back to the 20-yard line.
Did they overturn it? I don't know. I mean,
in my opinion, it will be.
He touched
here we go.
the outer edge. We'll see. Stands is called. Wow.
After the shot I just saw, I'm surprised. I am honestly surprised.
As Oakland jumps out to a 6-0 lead here, pending the extra point on a huge, very, very aware punt return by Dwayne Harris to hop on that ball, pick it up, and return it the way he did. Big play there, big start for Oakland.
Huge start.
As we're lining up here for the extra point, the kick is up, and it's right down the middle, so that puts up the Oakland Raiders up 7-0 here early in the first quarter. We got 10-10 left to go in the first quarter.
Kathy, who asked who we were, she said, okay, good deal. Best I can get. Keep it up.
All right. Well, we appreciate that, Kathy.
Time It, one of our regular viewers.
What's going on, Time It?
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, brother. Appreciate you tuning in.
Jim O says, the desk looks real. Nice play calling. Good team. Keep it up. Or keep it going like.
All right, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate the feedback for sure. Again, any kind of interaction that you guys have or any questions that you want us to answer, we are Baltimore sports fans first and foremost, but we are football fans in general. We like to give our opinions, hence that's why we do this whole thing. We're going commercial-free, no breaks through this until the game is over, so we need as much interaction as possible.
Yeah.
So
yeah, please help us full time.
Yeah, absolutely.
These commercial breaks can get killer because you got to remember that the guys that are professionals get a break. Yeah. We don't. And this is for fun.
Yeah, completely unscripted.
For fun.
So we're just doing this because we enjoy to.
No, it is. It is fun. We like doing this. It's fun to sit here and make these play calls. I guess it's hard for me in this game just to get excited because of the game it is. But they're already creating excitement.
Yeah, man, that was a big return there.
Big return puts Oakland up 7-0 already here with 10-10 left in the first quarter. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep up this momentum as they set up to kick it off here again to the Broncos. See who they have back. Usually it's Lindsey back there for the kickoff returns.
I think it was, it looks like Freeman's back there. As Freeman brings it out, cross the 20s, cross the 25, down at about the 29 or 30-yard line. Good return there for Freeman.
Decent return to bring it out.
Yeah, as Broncos will get decent field position to start.
As they're talking about the guys that the Oakland Raiders have let go, Khalil Mack with 12.5 sacks this season, 6 forced fumbles. Amari Cooper, 694 receiving yards for 6 receiving touchdowns.
And that's only in 8 games that he's been with Oakland. So our resident Cowboys fan there, Lisa, she can speak on the difference that Amari Cooper's made for that team. It's been huge. As we get ready here on a 1st down and 10, we're down to 9 seconds left on the play clock. Keenum lines up under center. He's got single back formation, brings his wide receiver in motion. Play action pass. He's looking down the middle. He throws deep. He's got a man, but he underthrows the ball. And, oh, man, that's a big hit. I'm surprised there's not a flag as Joseph made – oh, there is a flag on the field. Okay, late flag came in as Joseph came across the middle and cleaned Tim Patrick's clock, but he went high. came in with his forearms and went right underneath the helmet into Tim Patrick's head as the ball was reaching Patrick. That's a look, couple years ago, that's a football hit. A couple years ago, that's a clean football hit. In today's day and age, that's going to get called every single time. And there we go, personal foul on Joseph. So that's going to be a 15-yard penalty and a first down for Denver.
Time it just popped in and says, I went ghost. Yes, I did go ghost for a second. It's Christmas Eve and I have a 3-year-old.
Right.
So it was bedtime. I had to say good night real quick.
He also said close to hitting 400 subscribers. Appreciate that, man. Hey, every one of your guys' thumbs up and subscribes goes a long way. So while you're checking us out, make sure you do that. Hit that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. We appreciate it for sure.
I saw as I was coming back down there a big hit there.
Yeah, big hit, illegal hit. That's why we got the penalty on the play as Keenum lines up here.
Keenum's going to line up in the gun, got Freeman in the backfield, 2 wide receivers set with 1 tight end out to the right. He's going to fake the hands off to Lindsey and then hands it off to Freeman, who's going to get out to about the 48, maybe 49-yard line here.
Gain of about 3 on the play.
Yeah, it's going to be going in second down and about 7 here.
So Kathy says, so far so good, boys. Are you guys going to commentate on the playoffs too? I gave up TV for a big monthly savings. I need this shit. I do not blame you. I'm right there in the same boat. Actually, Scott did the same thing. Cut the cord. We're actually streaming this through the DirecTV.
I'm not plugging them, but I'm plugging them. DirecTV now. Check it out. It's worth it.
It's the real deal for sure.
You're getting TV with not having to have as much expense. As Keenum lines up under center, hands the ball off to, was that Freeman again?
Looked like Freeman left side there for another gain of about 2.5. So, yeah, to answer your question, we are going to do a few of the playoff games yet. Once the playoff schedule kind of gets announced and we know where we're at with things and we check our schedules and all, obviously we're not getting paid to do any of this, but we do it because we enjoy it, but we're going to try to do as many playoff games as we possibly can for sure.
Thomas says, was the illegal hit called unnecessary or targeting? I think it was unnecessary roughness.
It was unnecessary roughness, yeah.
All right, as we see Keenum line up in the gun, puts his wide receiver in motion from left to right, now trips out to the right, 1 tight end set to the right, and Freeman in the backfield, drops back, looking right, down the field, ooh, and a big hit at the end of the play as it's incomplete over the outstretched arms of the receiver. I want to say that was Sutton. I would say, yeah, it was Sutton there.
Gilchrist came in again. Could have been almost a similar call as he came in a little high, but did keep clear of the head there. So
and did hit him inbounds as well.
Did hit him inbounds, so yeah, we won't get a flag on that play. It's going to bring up 4th down and 4 for the Broncos.
What's up, Steve?
Steve, what's going on? Merry Christmas, brother. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Appreciate everything you've done for us in 2018, my friend.
And they're going to have the punt go back, this time trying to get it inside the 5 again as it bounces, but it
goes in the end zone.
Rolls straight into the end zone.
Harris there with a good job blocking the gunner there to make sure that he doesn't down the ball. So Oakland's going to come out and start from the 25-yard line as Derek Carr, who has been obviously the subject of a lot of criticism in Oakland lately, playing pretty well over his last stretch of games. I think in the last 7 or 8 games, he's had 12 touchdowns to no interceptions. I mean, he's playing pretty good football. Again, they took away his number 1 weapon in Amari Cooper, which, if you're being honest, he had been severely underperforming in Oakland. We saw him kind of get rejuvenated out in Denver, and we're seeing him kind of flourish out there. Oakland, obviously now with 3 first-round draft picks from the Khalil Mack deal, the Amari Cooper deal, and then their normal draft pick, going into that kind of retooling mode. I don't like to use the word rebuild, especially in football, but in a retooling mode, a lot of people give John Gruden a lot of grief for some of these decisions and some of the changes that he made. Look, this was a long commitment by the Davis family to Gruden. It's a 10-year deal. They understood, I think, going into this deal that this wasn't going to be an overnight change with this franchise. They got a lot of things going on with the team moving to Las Vegas and next year trying to find a home to even play in. They're talking about asking the Giants to play in their stadium, talking about maybe partnering up with the 49ers and playing in their stadium. There's just a lot going around this franchise. So to really come in and set the expectations for John Gruden to come in year 1 and make this huge difference, it's going to be a process. And I think we're starting to see those changes happen.
Yeah, you're starting to see those changes happen, and I think, to your point, there's a lot of people in Oakland that don't want to see this team move at all. Marshawn Lynch was actually at the hearing saying that, he didn't – his point was, we lost the Warriors, we're losing the Raiders, don't lose the Oakland A's, because they weren't willing to put out the money to build a new Coliseum.
Right.
So it's going to be one of those things. It's going to be this not only affects NFL, this affects MLB as well. Right. Real quick, by the way, I got to address the elephant in the room. You and that belt.
Oh, yeah.
You've been wearing that thing everywhere.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be with me for the rest of this week.
He just won fantasy football.
I did.
Because
the Birdland BS League champion.
Because
champion.
Nobody's playing in this game for either team.
All right, Derek Carr here in the gun. He's got 3 wide receivers, single back formation. He brings Harris in motion, fumbles the snap, but falls on the ball as he's downed for about a 3 or 4 yard loss there as we get under almost 8 minutes to play in this game. Derek Carr on the season, 68% completion percentage, about 264 yards a game, 47 sacks. It's a lot of sacks.
That is a lot of sacks.
Carr in the gun, single back formation, play action, dumps the ball off to his tight end there, out of the backfield for a gain of about 11 yards, going to bring up 3rd down and about 2 yards here.
Derek Carr he's a quarterback that has abilities, but never. Amari Cooper, while he was a weapon, the play calling for Oakland didn't help the relationship between Carr and Cooper.
Yeah, agreed. Carr again in the gun. Single back formation. He's got trips out to his left, single wide receiver to his right. As there's a flag on the field, there may have been movement on the offensive line, and there is. False start on the Raiders. It's going to back them up 5 yards. Going to bring up a 3rd down and now 7 as the tight end Ottoman, whatever. Moved a little early on the play there. Appreciate you guys. Yeah.
Jim says, thinking of tapping the sub button.
Jim says these guys are calling it a good game, man. Please hit that sub button. We really appreciate it. Carr in the gun. He's under pressure, and he's brought down there by Bradley Chubb in the backfield. That's one thing about this Broncos defense is they can bring the pressure from all sides. They got the rookie and Bradley Chubb, who has been a beast and a
shut down.
Yeah, he's been a load for people or offensive lines to handle. And obviously you got the veteran in Von Miller on the other side. This is a team that can bring the pass rush for sure. It's going to bring up 4th and 15 as the Raiders punt the ball off.
Usually Deshaun Hamilton's
ball
the guy
bounces at the 40, takes a big Oakland roll all the way down to the 21-yard line. Huge punt there for Oakland.
That's the most exciting thing in this game so far is the punts and the special teams.
Special teams has been fire.
To the credit for the Denver punter, who I believe is Colby Wadman. Twice now he has put the ball in a spot within 5 yards of the end zone, and it's just his team has obviously once not been able to hold on to the ball while touching the line, and the second time just rolls and nobody's able to get to it to stop it and pin it down there. But that's one of those things that special teams can play a huge role, and it can swing momentum for a defense or an offense, because if a defense was just out on the field, they don't want to have to come back out.
Right. Yeah, definitely. This is going to be a game. Again, we talk about it with the Ravens a lot, time of possession and it being critical for a team like Oakland who has struggled defensively. You got to keep your defense fresh. You got to keep them off the field as much as possible. You got to try to extend drives, and obviously couldn't get anything going there on their first offensive possession of the game.
No, and that's going to be one of the things that's going to be key for this Denver team is, and it's one of the criticisms of Case Keenum, is that he cannot sustain drives. Right. He cannot extend plays, and it really has started to show it. How many times have they had him throw in this game so far? I think maybe 3 or maybe 4.
Right.
They've really been handing the ball off to Lindsey and Freeman and having them try and run it up the gut. And that just goes to show you, in my opinion, look, Freeman is a good running back. Solid guy. Lindsey, solid guy. They are good 1-2 combo. but you got to have somebody that can offset that and be able to get the pass downfield to a guy like Cortland Sutton, who has breakaway speed and can take the top off of defense. But Case Keenum's not accurate enough to get the ball to him on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they're at this point, they're really relying a lot on their running game in Philip Lindsay. I think at this point, Case Keenum isn't anything more than a game manager, really, at this point.
No.
He's just got to go out there, play an efficient football game, keep the defense honest by making completions 7 yards or longer. Just keep the defense a little off the line to give room for the running game to be able to get down the field. And unfortunately for Denver, they haven't been able to do that consistently enough this year. And I know it's frustrating for a lot of Bronco fans out there because they had high expectations for this team coming into this year.
Yeah. And speaking of expectations, Ryan's asking, what do you think is in the future for the Raiders? I don't know. I'm going to be flat out. I have no idea.
It all depends on how they do in this draft. This draft could make or break them.
Case Keenum's going to be under the gun. 3 wide receivers set. 2 running backs in the backfield. Dumps it off to Lindsey. Lindsey hurdles a defender and gets it out to the first. I'm sorry, that was Janovich. Yeah. Janovich was in the backfield, the fullback.
Picks up the first down there.
Picks up the first down plus an extra yard or two. So we're going to see now out to about the 31, 32-yard line, 1st and 10 with 6 minutes left as these Raiders are leading the Denver Broncos as they try and drive down the field here.
Kathy says her man's Patrick Mahomes. Go Chiefs. Die you Raiders. Try to find a home. Hey, you got a good guy out there, Mahomes. You're going to ride that train for a long time, that's for sure.
All right, Keenum under the gun. He's going to fake the handoff and then hands it off to – is that Sutton?
No. That's I don't have his name in front of me.
Tim Patrick.
Yeah, Tim Patrick. As the Raiders kind of read that reversal pretty well there defensively. First guy got in the backfield, the corner, misses the tackle, but the defensive end is able to come around and clean up and keep Tim from being able to get around the edge and hold Denver there to a 4-yard loss.
What's up, Shashinka Joe?
What's going on, Shashinka? Merry Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve to everybody out there. Appreciate you tuning in on Christmas Eve.
Keenum's going to have 2 wide receivers out to his right, tight end to his right. He's going to hand the ball off to Lindsey. Lindsey finds a hole up the middle. He's going to get down to about the 37-yard line. But
it's raining flags.
Flag on the play. And
it's raining yellow.
Lindsey was calling for the flag there. I think there may have been maybe a face mask there at the end.
It. Hands definitely to the face. I don't know if that's what the call was, but there were definitely hands high up on the head. We'll see.
See what they give this call as they pick up those
flags. It's holding.
Defensive holding here.
Defensive on the hold, yeah.
So that'll push them down the field even more as now we have a first down with just about 5 minutes left on the clock in the first quarter.
Getting back to the question from Ryan for the Raiders, like I said, they've got obviously a lot of personal things going on as far as where they're going to play next year, all of that. But just talking about them as a team, they've got 3 first-round draft picks like we were talking about earlier. They've got to nail on those 3 picks, and we'll see what happens this coming year.
Keenum's going to line up in the gun, 2 wide out to the right, 1 tight end set to the left, 1 wide receiver to the left. Takes a snap, drops back, looks left, and incomplete to Patrick behind him by about 4 yards. Not
really
even close.
Bad throw, or they were on the wrong page there as Patrick was continuing to run downfield. It looked like Keenum was expecting him to do a comeback, and, well, he never came back. And the ball was thrown about 5 yards behind him.
Wow. Joe saying he's got a hard week. He lost his dad.
Oh, man. I'm
sorry. We are really sorry to hear that, Joe.
Prayers are with you, brother.
Especially during this holiday season.
Yeah.
Man. So
sorry about that.
All right, as we see Keenum line up under center, he's going to hand the ball off to Lindsey. Lindsey's going to get past the line of scrimmage, maybe gets an extra yard or 2. So that's going to bring us to about a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, depending on the spot here.
Kathy says, haha, Las Vegas, Oakland really needs to keep you. They got nothing else. And that's the crazy thing about it is I feel like the Raider fan base really rallies behind this team, win, lose, or draw. Like, they've just got a really good fan base. It's a shame that they can't keep that team there. It's just so much history with that franchise.
Yeah, Keenum in the gun, trips out to his right, 1 to the left. Lindsey in the backfield to his left. gets the play off. I'm sorry, it's Freeman in the backfield with him, but he's going to dump it off to Sutton. Sutton's going to fight off a defender, makes the move, gets out to about the first down marker at the 49-yard line, but it looks like they're going to spot this at the 50.
About a yard short of the first down. That's kind of an interesting spot. Depends on where he goes out of bounds and where the football is in relation. It looked like to me he was a little closer there, but he kept the ball on the inside of his body there, so yeah, it might have been a good call.
Before the defender comes, if he shoves his arm out there and get to put it towards that first down and then brings it right back in, he's going to get it. But here, now they're faced with 4th and 1, and it looks like Denver is going to go for it here.
Nation getting on their feet.
Denver's 13 for 21 in 4th down conversions. So it's going to be interesting as he lines up under center, 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 tight end set to the right. Going to hand it off to Lindsey. Lindsey's... And
wow.
Delay of game penalty.
Wow.
Lindsey was breaking away down the field, and they called a delay of game.
Lindsey hits the hole hard. At least had a 15 or 20-yard gain on that play easily before he gets to the last level of the defense. And they throw the flag in there late for that delay of game, and Vance Joseph is not happy.
4th and 6.
Wow.
And this is some of the problems that they have said with Case Keenum, the clock management, the game management, as the
John Elway's
just sitting there shoving sunflower seeds in.
I'm sure he is not happy with that.
Waldman back for the punt. Let's
Harris
see if he
back to receive. He lets it go. Another ball bouncing towards the end zone. This one goes into the end zone for a touchback. So the Raiders will take over with 3 minutes and 3 seconds left to go in the first quarter, leading 7-0.
And it looks like we have another Cowboys fan. Isaiah is saying, "How about them Cowboys?"
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it for the past couple weeks. It's crazy how much one player's made a difference. Now, we'll say the last game, Amari Cooper really didn't have much of an effect on this team, and they were able to get the win. They were able to clinch the division, but single-handedly bringing Amari Cooper in there has really changed the dynamic of the offense. You're seeing Prescott more accurate. He's got a weapon now. It's crazy how much one wide receiver can make a difference. And then the difference with that you're seeing in the run game as well, because now defenses can't just load the box and stop Ezekiel Elliott and try to get as much pressure on Prescott as they possibly can. Now they got to respect the passing game a little bit. So they're definitely going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs. They've got a good defense, and if they can continue to play the way that they've been playing over these last few weeks on offense, they will be a dangerous team.
They can be a very dangerous team. They have the ability, with Zeke Elliott out there as well. You can't forget about him.
Right.
He is always a threat, and that opens up when you have somebody like Amari Cooper that Dak Prescott can throw to on a regular basis. It's going to open up that running game for Ezekiel Elliott, and then turn around and it just is a back and forth piece. They're each going to open up each other even more and more. The one thing I'm sure Dallas is missing is their Hall of Fame tight end, for sure.
Right.
But that is one of those things that you have to move on. You have to figure out what you need. And Amari Cooper seems to be that piece for them and being able to help and just be a threat. That's what you need. You need a guy that can be a threat, that if you open it up and then they've got to jump in and block against the run game with Zeke Elliott, Amari Cooper can then burn the top off the defense. And
correct.
Dak Prescott has the arm to be able to throw that downfield ball and get a long-distance shot.
So Ryan says he's a diehard Vikings fan, and he thinks Cousins is an upgrade from Keenum, seeing how he has played this season. Do you think Keenum had more weapons in Minnesota? That's why he was able to be so successful? Absolutely. Not only did he have more weapons around him on offense, but he had a hell of a defense there in Minnesota last year. The statistics that Minnesota put up defensively going into this year, I single-handedly thought they would be the best defense in the NFL. They haven't played up to that standard this year. That's why you're seeing part of the struggles in Minnesota. I mean, I do think I agree with you that Cousins is an upgrade, but Cousins can be inconsistent at times too, and sometimes his stats can be inflated because he plays from behind a lot. So we'll see. As Derek Carr lines up here in the gun, single back formation, he's got 2 wide receivers to his left, 1 tight end to his right, takes the snap. He's looking out to his right. He throws to his tight end, for a gain of about 6 yards there on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 4 as we get under 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Again, the Raiders leading 7-0. As we talk about the AFC playoff picture, the Ravens take over the lead in the AFC North and take over the 4th seed. Whoop, whoop. That's a team nobody wants to see in the playoffs for sure. Let's talk about good defensive teams. As Carr lines up here in the gun, again, he's got single back formation, looking for the tight end across the middle, Cook, and the ball is thrown just out of his reach. It's going to be incomplete and bring up 3rd down and 4.
Joe says, you got the Steelers where you want them. How you feel about the Ravens' upcoming match against the Browns? Look,
scary.
We keep saying it. This ain't the same Browns. This ain't the Browns that you can go through and say, oh, there's 2 wins when you're looking at the schedule. Because I'll tell you what, Baker Mayfield is doing some good stuff over there and is able to I loved his move of staring down Hugh Jackson this week.
As Carr again lines up here in the gun, he's got single back formation lined up to his right. Looking to his left, he throws deep. He's to Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson tries to bring it in one-handed there, but unable to bring it in. That's going to bring up 4th down and 4 as Oakland goes 3 and out yet again.
Yet again. This is the defenses and the special teams would help in Oakland right now.
Marlon says, y'all going to be there Sunday versus Browns. Picked up my tickets in October, and prices just tripled. Thank God. Smart man, my friend. Yeah, I've got season tickets, so I'll be there. Scott won't, but I'll be there. So if you're going to be down there, send me a message, man. We tailgate every weekend. I'd love to meet you. Be good to see you down there. As the Raiders line up for the punt, they kick the ball down the field. It's a short punt.
Hamilton's going to field it at about the 38-yard line. I'm sorry, it's Craycraft.
Yeah, so we're down there in Lot H. We tailgate every week with a bunch of friends. So if you're going to be down there, man, it'd be good to see anybody that's going to be down there at that Ravens game. Hit me up. Let me know.
I may see if I can get down there. We'll see.
There you go, man. Make it happen. We'll be there for sure. You know
that. Man, this game has been, ironically, a defensive game at this point. Both these defenses stepping up and putting a stop. The only points on the board coming from the special teams. As we see Keenum line up in the gun, puts Lindsey in motion right to left, hands the ball off to Lindsey. Lindsey's going to get to the line of gain and maybe a yard here. See where they spot. Yeah, about a yard. So we're going to see 2nd and 9 now with 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Oakland up 7-0. Getting a little heavy with your championship belt over there.
It's getting hot. And restricted. I couldn't move.
We got 31 of you guys watching out there.
Appreciate it, man. We really didn't think we'd have many viewers considering this is Christmas Eve and everything, but appreciate you guys tuning in for sure.
Case Keenum lines up in the I formation. Janovic and Freeman in the backfield. Looks downfield, deep left. He's got Cortland Sutherland, and Sutherland's got the ball at the 15-yard line. They're going to call it a catch.
Big catch. Sutton's trying to get them down on the line. I don't know if he may have dropped the ball or if the ball may have hit the ground when he's trying to get this play off quickly. We'll see what happens here on the replay.
Oakland defender was saying it was incomplete.
He juggled the ball. Yeah, they're going to challenge this play. Again, another bad camera angle there on the replay, but from what you could see as he impacts the ground, the ball was moving around. It may have actually touched the ground before he actually gained possession of the ball completely. And I think that's why Sutton was trying to get the guys down there, get them lined up as quickly as possible.
Well, it doesn't help yourself when you're the one that makes the catch and you're calling for your team to get down there. That kind of is a dead giveaway that the other team should be looking. And John Gruden jumps right on it, being the veteran coach that he is and veteran manager that he is. He has his guys ready on stuff like that.
That's like a baseball term.
Whatever. He is a game manager.
I'm just messing with you. God, you take me so serious. Why so serious? Appreciate y'all tuning in.
I was going to go bore at you in that way.
Why so serious? While you guys are there, do us a favor. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We are going to carry this into the playoffs. Again, we got one more Monday Night Football game to do before the regular season ends.
Ooh.
We will probably do 2, maybe 3 playoff games, depending upon the schedule. We'll let you know.
They're doing that side-by-side commercial
definitely
thing.
Incomplete.
It's going to be an incomplete pass, no doubt about it. So they're going to be facing, 3rd and 4, I believe, at that
was a heck
point.
of a throw by Keenum there. There's a heck of a throw. put it right where, I mean,
Only Sutton could get it.
Sutton could get it. The defender had good coverage on it. I mean, he did have maybe a half a step. Sutton did have maybe a half a step on the defender, but Sutton unable to reel that in, as they are going to change this and rule that incomplete as the call's reversed.
Nothing that back ref can do there, because the way that ball was, they actually showed the angle, the one angle that they showed where you couldn't really tell was where the defender was.
Good point, Michael. That's right. This is the last Monday Night Football game, so point well taken. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Holiday seasons always mess up schedules.
Yeah, not thinking. But we'll definitely do a couple playoff games, that's for sure. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 9 here for the Broncos. Come out in single back formation, 3 wide receivers. Keenum in the gun.
He's making a play change at the line here. He better get this off. He's got 10 seconds left. As they get the ball off, he hands the ball off to Freeman, who's going to bounce around a few different times left and right, and then gets out to about the 42.5 yard line. He's going to be right there at the marker. Let's see where they spot this.
Hey, Kathy, I don't know what you're referring to if you use too many characters, got cut off for language, because, no, there wasn't any. If anybody cut you off for language, it wasn't us. It was YouTube. We honestly, language is okay as long as it's within moderation, that kind of thing. We just don't like people taking personal shots at other people and that kind of thing, talking badly about. That's the only way we would physically delete something. So not sure what you're referring to there.
All right, as Keenum is in the gun, 2 wide receivers set to the left, and a shovel pass to Freeman.
That's
shovel pass to Lindsey, yeah.
As he gets the first down, a big 4th down conversion there. It was 4th down and 1, and on a pitch out to Lindsey, the ball hits the defender's hand. I mean, in good place there, but a horseshoe maybe up the Broncos' butt there.
As it bounces right back up into Lindsey's arms.
It was almost like Madden. If you've ever played Madden, where the ball hits the ground and just sucks up to your body, that's what that looked like there.
All right, Keenum's going to be under center this time. He's going to have Lindsey in the backfield. 3 wide receiver set. Fakes the handoff. Feeling pressure. Scrambles.
Dives forward.
Gets a dive forward and gets a gain of about 4 here.
Yeah,
as they're going to face.
You never like to see your quarterback dive forward. If you're going to take if you're going to run with the ball, slide, baseball slide, because once you do that, you give up, the possession, and defenders have to steer clear. But if you run forward and you dive forward like that, you're no different than any other running back.
You're not. As that takes us to the end of the first quarter, as the Raiders lead the Broncos 7-0. Did not think I was going to be making that statement tonight. But good on the Raiders. Good on the Raiders special teams. Good on the Raiders defense for stopping a okay Denver offense. I mean, when you only have running backs that can run the ball and not much of an arm.
This is mediocre versus mediocre. I think the one thing that we know is that Denver, they can play good defensive football. Obviously, the only points that were scored here were not against the defense. It was on special teams. Denver can absolutely bring the heat. They've got decent corners and coverage, and we're seeing that. I mean, obviously, the 2 drives that the Oakland Raiders had there in the first quarter, both were held to 3 and outs. So we're seeing kind of what we expected this game. It's going to be who makes the least amount of turnovers, who can make the big plays on special teams, and so far the Raiders are off to a good start with that.
So far for the Broncos offense, Keenum's 6 for 9 for 34 yards. Lindsey has 6 carries on 26 yards. Booker's got 1 carry for 8. Freeman 2 carries for 6. Keenum with the 1 keep for 2 yards prior to that one. And then Patrick also with 1 carry for that loss of 7 early on. The receiving core, 34 yards receiving. That's all that we've got. Sutton has the most at 13 on two receptions. Obviously,
would have been a lot more if he'd have completed that pass.
If it's completed, it's going to be a lot more. That is for sure. On the Raiders side of the ball, Derek Carr, 2 for 4. So he's thrown the ball 4 times for 20 yards. And rushing, Derek Carr is leading his team in rushing. 1 carry for 0 yards.
I was about to say, I think they've only handed the ball off 1 time so far this game. We're not seeing a whole lot of rushing. We're not really seeing a whole lot of offense at all from Oakland.
Joe asks, KC has been in an odd spot lately. Can they really hang in the playoffs? My answer to that is yes.
Yeah, that's a dangerous offensive team. If you haven't been watching Pat Mahomes and some of the magic that is Pat Mahomes and some of the plays that he makes.
That sidearm throw that he threw.
With precision.
Yeah, submarine style, basically.
Yeah, unreal.
As Keenum is under center, puts Lindsey in motion out to the right. 3 wide receivers to the right. Drops back, feels the pressure, scrambles up towards the line, but he's going to be sacked for a loss of 2 at the bottom of the pile. Big stop there for Oakland on third as they went into second down. Now it's going to be third down and about 4, I believe.
Yes, Keenum had pressure up the middle. He got around the first 2 defenders to be able to get back close to the line of scrimmage before Joseph wrapped him up there and kind of limited the damage, where it's going to bring up third down and 10 now.
As he's going to line up in the gun. He's going to have Freeman to his left, 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 1 tight end set to the left. Making a play call change at the line. 3 seconds left on the play clock. 2, 1's calling for it. Drops back. He gets it off in time. Throws it out to the right. And it's only going to be a gain of about 1 out to Hamilton. I'm surprised I'm surprised they got that off in time. It didn't look like, in my opinion,
it was real close for another delay of game there. But they do get it off right before the play clock expires. And as he throws to the outside, the only guy he had there was Hamilton, and Hamilton gained maybe a yard and a half on that play.
Kathy says, I call Colin Coward Colin Blowhard because he said Mahomes would be going to a dark place when things go bad, blah, blah. So I said the only dark place was in between his ears. Colin Coward has some interesting takes sometimes. Sometimes I agree. A lot of times I don't know.
Interesting is a good word to use with him. As the ball is punted off there, and Harris catches the ball. Fair catches it at about the 11-yard line. And the Raiders going to have to march 89 yards. They want to get a touchdown here, and they have not been able to convert on a first down at all yet. Hopefully those things change for Raiders fans here in the second quarter. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, the Raiders, Doug Martin, their running back, is a crafty veteran, but not always great. As they're showing some replays of Harris here and his effectiveness on the special teams with some of these blocks on some of these punts.
Derek Carr under center. He's got two in the backfield. Hands it off to Martin. Martin goes up the middle, left side, gains about 4 yards on the play before he's brought down. It's going to bring up second down and 6. Martin gets up quickly and runs off the field.
I don't know if that was injury or knowing that, hey, if you get this many yards, you're going to come.
I don't know. It looked kind of strange the way he was running off the field. Oh, he comes right back on the field. Not sure what that was all about. But Carr's going to line up here again. Under center. He's got 2 wide, 2 backs. Brings his tight end in motion to the left side of the line. Takes the snap. Play action. Looking over the middle. Complete to Jordy Nelson for a decent gain there. Maybe a gain of about 13 yards.
Gets out to about the 28, 29-yard line, depending on the spot.
28-yard line, yeah. It's going to bring up first down and 10. Oakland's first down of the game.
Bradley Chubb, they were bringing the house there with Bradley Chubb and Von Miller on that play, both coming in, trying to put some pressure on Carr.
As Carr lines up here in the gun, he sends Martin out in motion to the left side. He's got 2 wide receivers on both sides now. Brings his tight end Cook in motion. Takes a snap. He's looking left side, looking over the middle, throws it out to Cook for a gain of about 7, but Cook continues to fight as they finally blow the play dead, never going down, but there's a flag as he starts to flex his muscle there a little bit.
He was just standing up.
Dude, he had like 5 or 6 bodies on him, and he was not going down for nothing. But there's a flag on the field. We'll see what the call is here. It looks like Oakland's pointing at Denver. Denver's pointing at Oakland. Of course, that's just kind of the way it works. As the ref gets ready to make the call in here. It's pass interference on the defense. It's going to be an automatic first down, and it looks like that's what the Raiders are going to take.
Going to take that spot foul all day, every day. SSJ God Bardock says, "Hey everyone, what's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Nice
Merry
to have you in the
Christmas
room.
Eve or Happy Holidays, depending upon
what you may celebrate.
Yeah, what you may celebrate and all that good stuff.
We got 37 of you guys watching. We have 9 thumbs up. We appreciate it, guys. Everybody that's subscribing to the channel, liking the channel, we really appreciate you guys tuning in, especially on the Christmas Eve edition.
That's right.
Of Monday Night Football.
Derek Carr lines up here on first down. He's in the gun from the 34-yard line, single back formation. Hands it off to Martin. Martin has nowhere to go as he's hit in the backfield, may have gotten close to the line of scrimmage, so maybe a loss of about a half a yard on that play. It's going to bring up second down and 10.
Did you see Derek Carr on that play? Afterwards, he gives this little as he hands it off to Martin, he gives this little flick like he's faking, and you have nothing in your hand. It's like trying to fake out your dog.
Carr takes a snap here. He looks deep. He's throwing deep to the left. He's got a man and doesn't make the catch.
There's a flag on the play, though.
There is a flag, but Roberts, the ball's thrown to the left side. Roberts had the play. I mean, the ball was thrown right into his hands, and as he lets it go through his hands, the ball hits the ground. But it looks like the penalty is going to be against Denver here.
Defensive pass interference.
Looks like maybe too many men on the field for the defense.
12 men on the field.
12 men on the field for the defense. So that's going to be
Spotlight Sports. What's up, man?
What's going on, Darian? Appreciate you tuning in, brother. Merry Christmas Eve. Wasn't sure if you were doing your live stream tonight or not, man, but good to see you, brother.
SSJ God Bardock says, who you guys think is going to win this? I originally came in and saying this was going to be Denver game all day.
I still think Denver wins this game. I still think Denver comes back and wins this game.
I might have to shift motions here. The way that this game's going.
Second down and 5.
I'll
Derek
tell you after
Carr
this drive.
In the gun. He's got split wide. He's looking to his left. He throws out to his back. It's Richard. Richard gains the first down and more as he gains about maybe 11 yards there to bring up first down, and they cross into Denver territory for the first time in this game with just about 11 minutes left to go in the first half.
Richard is a small guy, man.
Yeah, he's shifty.
He is small, but he can move those feet like nobody's business. He can get downfield, and that's exactly what he did there and made a defender miss.
A Darren Sproles feel to him and the way that he
That's a good comparison.
The ball.
That's a great comparison, actually.
All right, Derek Carr here on first down. He's got 2 wide, 2 tight ends, single back formation. In the gun, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, play action, throws it out to, I can't tell if that was Miller.
I think was that Waller?
Oh, it was. It's a former Raven, Darren Waller. Yeah, that's funny. Haven't seen him since he left the practice squad with the Ravens. A guy that came out of Georgia Tech, a tight end. He was a wide receiver in college. Didn't really play a whole lot because they ran this wing T formation in Georgia Tech. Didn't get a whole lot of work as a wide receiver. Came in as a project and has done pretty well in his little bit of time here with Oakland. As Carr lines up under center, he's in the eye. Takes a snap. Hands the ball off to Richard. Richard goes up right side, gains about 2 yards on the play. It's going to bring up third down and about 2.
Ryan says if the Vikings they do, when they do, how far do you think they can go? Be honest. I'll give you my opinion. Not past the first round if they make it in.
As good as the Vikings can be, they're just too inconsistent. That's the thing. And the NFC is a pretty powered conference this year. I just can't see them going beyond maybe the second round. I don't think they get back to the NFC Championship. As Carr takes a snap here on third down and 2, throws it out to Martin. It's complete for a gain of about 12 yards there on the play. It's going to bring up first down and 10 for Doug Martin with a big catch out of the backfield. We got 9 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the first half as Oakland finally starting to move the ball pretty good against this Denver Broncos defense.
If they score here, I'll shift and say that they have a really good potential to win this game. As we have Kathy chime in and said she subbed. We appreciate that. She
appreciate
said,
that,
we are
Kathy.
the rock gods of commentators, not the usual, and the usual don't suck, but damn, you're good, and I can't watch this game. We appreciate it.
That means a lot. It really does. As Carr's in the gun, he takes a snap. He's looking right side. He throws it out to Richard. Richard catches the ball for a gain of about 5 yards before he's brought down. It's going to bring up second down and 5. As they're looking at Jared Cook on the sidelines, their big tight end. That's why we're seeing a little bit more of Waller's involvement. Cook, not sure what the injury is. We'll try to keep you posted if we see anything or if we hear anything about that. But Cook, one of the better tight ends in the league. Obviously, not having the best of seasons this year, just as much as none of the Raiders are having very good years this year, but very effective when used properly. As Carr lines up here under center, single back formation, hands the ball off to Martin. Martin goes right side, big gain, down to the 5,
house.
Touchdown. Oakland, Doug Martin on the big running touchdown there off the right side of the lines for a 24-yard scamper. Touchdown, Oakland.
All right, I'm going to go to it. Raiders are going to win this game.
Oh, come on now.
No.
You can't be changing picks in the middle of a game. Who does that?
Oh, look, I'll say my original pick. My original pick, I said that this was going to be.
I said.
You know what?
Making picks, changing picks in the middle of games.
Hey. Suck it, Gil.
Nice. Shut up. As the Raiders line up here for the extra point. The kick is up and through the uprights. I guess I was a little premature there, changing it to 14 before the kick, but nonetheless, Raiders go up 14-0 with just under 8 minutes left to play here in the first half. Monday Night Football.
You're just doing that because it's the Raiders.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
The Raiders.
Shinchinka
Joe chimes in and says, for the record, he's happy New England finally got on the playoff bus.
Okay.
I'm not
addressing that because if you really want to know how I feel about that, you probably don't.
So NFC Championship, Joe also says Saints for the taking as far as the NFC Championship.
Yeah,
we've been saying this.
We've been very high on the Saints all year round. I mean, that's a team that's just super, super versatile. A team that's got weapons all across the field. Now, I will say, ever since the Saints have played the Cowboys, I've said this 100 times, have kind of given the blueprint to the NFL on how to contain the Saints offense. But look, they continue to find ways to win. They had a big win this week against the Steelers, which helped us, being Ravens fans, hugely. Gives the Ravens the division lead. They just got to take care of business against Cleveland. But, yeah, I'm high on the Saints. They've got a really, really well-balanced team. As great as the Rams can play, they can also put up really bad performances. And we've talked about this prior to the season started. All the talent that they brought in on the defensive side of the ball for the Rams are all questionable talent as far as how they would fit into the locker room. And we're starting to see that. I saw Marcus Peters the other day. I saw a video of him sitting on the sidelines where a fan was kind of mocking him, and he literally tried to go after the fan in the stands. Just there's bad personalities in that locker room. They're a very talented team. There's no doubting that. But I still think the Saints are the team to beat in the NFC.
100% agree. We've been saying that since we played them back in week 4, week 3, week 4 that the Ravens played them. So it definitely is something that we've been saying all along. This team has so many threats, and the way they use Hill is just ridiculous in how he's able to affect this team in any way, shape, or form.
Ryan says, you guys are fun to listen to. Keep up the good work. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate you still watching.
Walking in Pampers says, hoo-hoy, Raider Nation.
Walking in Pampers. I love it.
Kathy says, you can change picks anytime as long as it ain't with the mob. That's 100% true.
All right, let him off the hook. That's fine. I guess it is Christmas Eve.
As they show John Elway here, John Elway looks like he's wearing O.J. Simpson gloves.
I was just about to say that. Isotoners. Yes. He is wearing the O.J. Simpson isotoner gloves. Wow. That's a pull from 1994.
In a suit. Wow.
Good Lord. I think it was 94.
As the Raiders kick it off. I
wonder if he drives a white Bronco, too.
Yeah. Freeman's going to be back at the line. He's going to field it at about the 4. He's going to get out to about the 22 before being stopped. The flag right there. I'm assuming this is going to be a holding on Denver.
It's raining flakes. Hallelujah. Oh, man, it has been flag happy in this game so far. It is Christmas Eve. I'm trying to keep the spirits light.
The spirits are light.
Yeah, right? I need more of that. I need more of that.
That was the only bottle I had.
Popping bottles.
Actually, I do technically have 2 more bottles, but a little bit of champagne for the celebrating.
Woo. I have to do a shot here in a minute.
Kathy says that Rams statement is like the Chiefs. We lack some things.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's absolutely true. The Chiefs their biggest hole is defensively, but the consistency that we see from the Chiefs on offense, that team can put up 35, 40 points easily any game. And as long as the defense can play contain and really try to limit some of these teams, I think they've got a good shot in the playoffs.
Keenum under center. He's going to hand the ball off to Lindsey. Lindsey's going to fight for about 6 yards. So we're going to see 2nd and 4 from about the 18-yard line here.
We got 45 of you guys listening to us on Christmas Eve, man. We couldn't ask for more than that. We really appreciate it, but I am going to ask for more. Do us a favor, hit that thumbs up while you're there. Hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. That's how we get found. That's how they raise us up in the search engines of YouTube out there, is by how many likes we get. So if you're liking what you're watching, hit that thumbs up. It really means a lot to us.
Keenum in the gun, trips out to his right. Lindsey in the backfield. He's going to hand it off to Lindsey, who's going to bounce out to the left side. Going to get the first down and more. He's going to get a gain of about 6 on the play, and we're going to see first down for the Broncos from about the 24-yard line, I believe, is where they're going to put the spot here.
Yeah, just under 7 minutes left to go here in the first half. Again, Oakland leading Denver 14-0. The Raiders.
And don't hesitate, guys, as Fred was kind of saying, also don't hesitate to share. Share this on any of the social media pages, friends and family that may be watching the game. We'd be happy to do the commentary for them. As Keenum lines up in the gun, puts Lindsey in motion, running behind him. He's going to look like a screen, then looks him off. It's going to be a reception out to Hamilton. Hamilton didn't look like he was touched there and got up and started running, but they made the whistle.
They
it was
blew
going
it
to be
down, yeah.
1st and 10, but I don't think he was touched on that play, as we see 1st and 10 from about the 38-yard line. They're going through the carousel of quarterbacks since the last. Trevor Seaman, Paxton Lynch, Brock Osweiler. Now Case Keenum. These are your starters that they've gone through. As Keenum under the gun, two wide receivers out to the right, 2 out to the left, throws it out to Sutton. Sutton's going to get a gain of about 4. Sorry, gain of about 5. Sorry, that just kind of came out there.
Golly. 5 minutes and 40 seconds left to go as the clock continues to tick here in the first half. 2nd down and 4 for Denver. Denver got to continue to move the ball through the air there. Got to get your big rookie involved. Cortland Sutton, obviously he had the big drop earlier. Got to get him involved here.
Keenum's going to be under center. He's got 3 men in the backfield. Tight end out to the left. Lindsey out to the right. And he's going to hand the ball off to Freeman. Freeman's going to get a gain of about 1, so we're going to see 3rd and about 3 here on the play. And speaking of rookies, Joe, you're a rookie if you're saying you forgot that you could share this video / live stream. I got to give him crap because he's one of our regular listeners.
That's all right, man. As long as you figured it out, that's all that matters. We appreciate it, man. And again, for any of you guys that haven't been in here very long, we want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, depending upon what you celebrate. Appreciate you being out here with us on Christmas Eve and celebrating.
Keenum's going to line up in the gun, trips out to the left, 2 wide receivers out to the right, drops back, looking right, scrambles to his right, feeling pressure, looking downfield, and just throws it away.
Yeah,
so 3rd and 3 turns into 4th and 3.
Yeah, again, this is what we talk about with Oakland's defenses. Oakland, the only real, I guess, positive to their defense is that they can put pressure on the quarterback. They haven't been able to let Keenum get too comfortable in this game, and that's why we're seeing some of these ill-advised passes here, as it's going to be 4th down and 3 with 4:30 left to go in the first half. Harris back to receive the punt. Wadman lined up.
High snap, gets the punt off clean.
As Harris is back to the 5-yard line. The ball takes a bounce but goes into the end zone. Man, this punter.
Wadman has been putting these balls where his defenders should be able to pin this ball in, and they haven't been able to get down there. Part of that is on him because he's not putting enough backspin on the ball. He's putting a little bit too much front spin on the ball. But it's impressive when you're kicking it consistently 50 yards and potentially pinning guys at the 1-yard line.
He's consistently punting the ball and keeping it within that 10-yard range. It's really on the defenders there, the gunners, to get down there and down the ball.
That's exactly what you're asking your punter to do.
You can't ask much more for your punter. I mean, he's doing everything that you can ask from him. That's for sure.
as we move through. Again, in the second quarter, we have about 8 minutes left on the clock in the second quarter. Taking a look at that now, as they just went to commercial before I could actually grab what the time was left on the clock. Under that, it's down to 4 minutes. I didn't even realize it went that quick. I thought it was 9. It was apparently what I was thinking in my head. Kathy says, "Oh my God, if I were on social media, I would share and it would go. But I had to get my actual life back." What would be a Terry Bradshaw sack as a bad car wreck? That man has my props.
Yeah. Terry Bradshaw, interesting character to say the least. That guy, he's one of those.
More interesting than Colin Cowherd?
Oh, man. They're on different ends of the spectrum.
It's different.
Terry Bradshaw doesn't claim to know what he's talking about. He's just a character. Like, he has personality.
Terry Bradshaw is the Charles Barkley of football.
But at least Charles knows what he's talking about. Like, Charles, he might be funny, and he may say the things that we're all thinking, but nobody else will say on live TV. That's what I like about Charles, is he doesn't mince his words. Terry Bradshaw is just that kind of like cartoon character. You know what I mean? The guy that just, you look at him and you're like, is this real life? Like, is this
a bald
really?
Wile E. Coyote?
He's just wild, man. I mean, I have a ton of respect for what he did for Pittsburgh for all those years. But as a commentator, he is just he's a character.
She says he may have CTE.
He may.
It's very possible.
That's, a lot of these guys, they did the test on Aaron Hernandez. And they said Aaron Hernandez had like the worst case of CTE they had ever seen.
They had come across,
That they had come across. So, I mean, this is something that if you're seeing players of this day and age where safety and equipment has advanced the way it has, come up with these crazy cases of CTE, imagine what some of these guys like Terry Bradshaw and that older generation are doing. As Derek Carr lines up here under center from the 20-yard line, he hands it off to Martin. Martin goes left side, gains about 2.5 yards on the play. It's going to bring up second down, but there is a flag that comes in here later. Again, raining flags. Speaking of former NFL greats, Matt Millen, the Raiders linebacker from 80 to 88, dominant linebacker in the 80s.
Scary dude.
Yeah, he is what Raiders football is all about. He's a guy that break your fingers in a tackle, in a scrimmage. Just all around gritty football player, but a heck of a football player in his day. As that was a holding call on the offense, so that's going to bring up first down and 20 now.
From the 10.
From the 10-yard line. Carr in the gun. Hands it off to Martin. Martin has nowhere to go. He's wrapped up in the backfield. May have lost about a yard on that play. Going to bring up second down and 21.
Barrett and Wolf on the stop there. Barrett's chiming. I think he was looking for a holding call on that play.
Oh, look at that. They got Booger up in the...
Booger's not...
he's not in his cart.
He's not in his rolling cart.
Yeah, I guess that didn't go over too well in Oakland. I wouldn't want to sit in a moving cart in Oakland either.
I wouldn't think get beers or something.
Yeah, something thrown at you. Nah, Booger's probably safer up in the pen there. As Carr takes a snap, throws it out to the right side, complete to Richard. Richard can't get much. He gets back to maybe the original line of scrimmage, back to the 20-yard line. That's going to bring up third down and 10 for Oakland. We're down to almost 3 minutes left to go in the first half. Again, Oakland leading 14-0.
Not where we thought this game would be.
No. Like I said, I'm still riding with Denver. I still think Denver comes back and wins this game, but they got to do something quickly.
You're going to think that if Derek Carr drives down with 2
ride
minutes
with
left?
the team I pick. I'll ride with them. Carr lined up here in the gun.
Ride or die.
Single back formation. He's got 3 out to his left. Throws across the middle to Jordy Nelson for a gain of about 17 yards there. First down, Oakland, as we are going to probably run this down to the 2-minute warning. We got about 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
If I'm Oakland, I get a playoff here.
Nah. Take as much time off the clock. You got a 2-possession lead. Take it down to a 2-minute warning. That way, this drive is the end of the game, or the end of the half.
And they're going to go for another play here. 2:09 left. They're going to let it go down as far as they can.
And now they're going to let this one go down to the 2-minute warning. And that's what they do. Let it go down to the 2-minute warning.
Looking for them to jump.
Yeah, trying to get the defense to jump off sides there, gain maybe another 5 yards. But nonetheless, 2-minute warning. Again, Oakland leading 14-0.
So we're pretty much through 2 halves at this point. Is this game how you expected?
No. Not at all. I mean, look.
Simple answer. That's all that it is.
I mean, really, there's not a whole lot to get, like I said, excited about with this football game. I mean, these are 2 teams that are completely out of playoff contention. We talked about it, the emotional side for Oakland, this probably being the last game in Oakland unless some kind of miracle happens where they at least work out one more year in the stadium. But doesn't sound like that's going to be the case here. So not a whole lot to be excited about here. You just hope that both of these teams can kind of come through this game without any kind of major injuries, and they can kind of go into next season healthy and rejuvenated.
Kyle Aid smashing that smashing that subscribe button. He also says, or he or she says, love it, keep it up.
Appreciate it, man.
We appreciate that.
Definitely do. Yeah, we got a couple of alerts on there. So we had a couple of people ask us about donations, and it's crazy. It's kind of mind-blowing to me that people actually donate money to live streams like this, but apparently it happens. So we added a link down in the description down below for anybody that does want to donate. We greatly appreciate any donations. There's a little alert that pops up as you saw, the one there with the subscribe. That's one way you get the alert, and then the other one is through donations. So again, don't feel obligated, but we really, really appreciate it.
It goes towards the stuff like you see.
Yeah, that's how
us.
all of this is possible. Every dollar that we make from doing this show goes right back into the podcast.
This is a hobby for us. We just have fun doing this. So the money that is donated through this, we put right back in. We had one of our regular listeners, Steve, who is always chiming in, always watching everything that we do.
He stopped in a little while ago.
He stopped in a little while ago, but he has donated, and that, part of his donation actually helped to go get this green screen and the lighting that we have in here. So maybe we'll have to do like a backstage tour one day.
Yeah, man, we can definitely do that. Bring somebody in. Albert says game sucks. Well, that's one way of being blunt about it for sure. Yeah, has not been a very entertaining football game to say the least yet. But let's, as we get close to halftime here, start thinking about halftime discussions. So anything, topics surrounding the NFL that you guys want to talk about, doesn't have to be related to this game, can be related to any of your specific teams. I've had a lot of questions about the Vikings and the Saints and the Chiefs and the Cowboys. Any other questions that you guys have, make sure you drop them in the comment field and we'll get to them. As Carr lines up here in the gun, single back formation, he's got 2 wide receivers out to his right, 1 to his left. He throws to the left. That's Jordy Nelson, the savvy veteran, for a first down gain there, gain of about 13 yards.
Gets out to about the 49-yard line here.
Yeah, as we get almost to midfield, another first down for Oakland. So Oakland goes no huddle here. Carr lined up in the gun. He brings Roberts in motion from right side to left side. Hands the ball off to Martin. Martin goes up the middle. He's got a big hole. Gains about 11 yards there as he gets to the second level. Man, I tell you, Martin is a guy that they call him the hamster. I mean, this guy, he's short, he's low, he's got a good center of gravity, low center of gravity. You got to get low and get at his legs if you want to bring this guy down. He is a ball. Man, he is a ball of muscle. As Carr lines up in the gun here, throws out to his left. He had Jordy Nelson, but throws the ball short there.
I think it might have been tipped.
I was going to say,
it
looked like the ball came out kind of funny. Either it slipped out of his hand or it was tipped. So we're going to go that ball was tipped. As it falls incomplete there. We got 1 minute and 7 seconds left to go. The clock has stopped with the incomplete pass there. 2nd down and 10. Lined up at about the 39-yard line. Carr in the gun, single back formation, 3 wide receivers. Takes the snap. He's looking over the middle. He's got pressure, but he gets rid of it to Roberts. Roberts with the catch, fights, gains out, cross the first down marker, gets about 11, maybe 12 yards on that play. Brings up another first down as the clock continues to tick. Oakland does have all of their timeouts still.
It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 28, from the Denver 28 here.
As Carr lines up in the gun, takes the snap. He looks out to his right. He dumps it off, and the ball is tipped by Von Miller, and it falls to the ground. Very easily could have been a pick 6 on that play. If Von Miller wraps his hands around that ball, There was nobody out in front of him.
No, he's taking it out. The only thing is that somebody gets him back and beats him back there.
Carr and the Raiders lucked out big time on that one. As we have 36 seconds left to go, clock is stopped. Again, Oakland with all 3 timeouts. Carr is in the huddle. He's going to line up here in the gun with single back formation. 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end. His back is lined up to his left. Doesn't like what he sees as the play clock continues to go down to 2, and they call a timeout.
36 seconds left on the clock.
Not a bad deal there. You don't want to take a loss on a delay of game. You got all 3 of your timeouts. You're in scoring position here just outside of the red zone. Take that timeout to avoid losing the yardage.
We've got 3 questions starting to get lined up here. 4 now.
All right.
4 questions starting to get lined up. So we'll get to those at half,
Carl,
guys.
about the Seahawks, we'll definitely get into that.
Joe
Indy?
asking about Indy.
Yeah, we'll talk about
so
that.
3, I'm sorry. And then Kathy asking about any more teams in contention.
For the big win this year, is it just me? Okay, yeah. I mean, there are a lot of playoff scenarios that are still yet to be determined.
Many games flexed this coming week.
Yeah,
because of that.
A lot of changes in the schedule this coming week, so we'll get into that a little bit, and we'll definitely talk about those things. So any other comments or questions that you guys have, make sure you drop those down there. We've got almost 50 of you people in here right now watching us. Can't tell you how much we appreciate that. Again, make sure you hit that thumbs up. You hit that like button. We appreciate that. We appreciate you guys being here. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you get that little alert that pops up on the live feed there with our buddy Lamar with the welcome to Birdland BS.
Yeah, right. We are Birdland BS, obviously. We are a Baltimore sports podcast first and foremost. We've been doing these Monday night games for about 8 weeks now?
Yeah, about 2 months.
Yeah, so about two months. We didn't start at the beginning of the season. We just saw some people doing it, and we thought, you know what, that's something that we think we would like doing.
Yeah.
And we've loved doing it. We've loved the interaction that we've had with everybody, and that's why we continue to do it. We'll continue to do it next year, and we'll continue to make this thing bigger.
We don't claim to be great at this. We don't claim to be...
You're going to hear some uhs and ums because trying to fill 3 hours, remember, they get commercial breaks on TV. We aren't giving you a break. So
we just try to be as laid back as we can. We try to have a lot of fun with this. We try to interact with you guys as much as possible. You know, we give our feedback on as much as we can. You know, obviously we're Ravens fans at heart, so we know that team like the back of our hand. We are NFL football fans in general, so we know a good deal about what's going on with all these teams across the league. So we just try to give you as much insight from our point of views as we possibly can.
As they come back.
All opinion-based.
Maybe that's what the BS stands for. Or maybe it's Baltimore sports.
If you ask Darian, it's Baltimore sports. It's all on how you look at it. As Derek Carr lines up here in the gun from the 28-yard line, he's got single back formation out to his right. Taking the play clock down pretty low there. He's looking right, looking across the middle as he gets under pressure. He throws to Roberts complete for a gain of about 3 yards there, but doesn't get out of bounds. So the clock continues to tick, but the Raiders
Carr just called a timeout.
Raiders do take a timeout with 28 seconds left to go. Carr just had to get rid of the ball there. He was going to get sacked. He felt the pressure. Somebody was hanging on his legs. He dumped it off to Roberts there across the middle. Unfortunately for the Raiders, Roberts had good coverage. As soon as he caught the ball, was wrapped up and brought down for a short gain.
Yeah. Kyle says, love you guys. I subscribed. We appreciate that.
Oh, man, appreciate that.
We love that. Look, I didn't think we were going to have 50 people. I thought we were going to have maybe 10, 15 people. Some of our streams have hit, a few hundred people. We weren't anticipating to have this many of you guys watching, so we greatly appreciate you tuning in with us. Kristen McCollum also says, this is my first time here, and I'm so glad you guys do this.
That's
I
awesome.
can't watch the game, but I can listen to you guys and know what's going on. Thank you for doing what you do.
We appreciate that, man, for sure. Definitely do. Let us know where you guys are listening from. What states are you guys in?
Roll call.
Are you home? Are you at work? Where are you guys at? We'd love to know. We're always curious how you guys find us. That's another thing. So how did you guys come across us?
Broncos timeout, by the way.
Okay. Were you guys just searching on YouTube for Monday Night Football? Were you just on YouTube and you saw it and you figured you'd give us a listen? Just kind of curious as to how you guys came across us. Were you referred to us? There's the old salesman in me, right? Were you referred by another client to us? Just curious how you guys came across this and where you guys are tuning in
Don't
from.
worry, no referral fees. No referral fees at all.
I am an insurance agent, so if you need insurance in the Maryland, D.C., Delaware, PA, or Virginia area, don't be afraid to hit your boy up. There's the old insurance plug.
There you go.
Derek Carr lines up here on 3rd down and 7 from the gun. Single back formation.
From the 25-yard line.
From the 25. He's got 2 wide receivers out to his left. He's looking to the right. He's throwing in the end zone, but he throws out of the back of the end zone. There was no way Roberts was going to catch that one. It's going to bring up 4th down and 7. And I think the Raiders are just going to take the points here as they're going to come out and line up for a field goal.
Jim O says Milwaukee. And Joe says Norfolk right now anyway.
Okay.
And Jim says that he was searching NFL fan reaction.
All right. Appreciate that. Definitely. Just curious, always curious to hear where you guys are tuning in from. We get some people in totally different countries. It's mind-boggling to me.
We've had Germany before. We've had Holland.
Yeah. Some countries I can't even pronounce as Raiders line up here for the wow. That ball started outside of the right upright and hooked like a slider to the left and split the uprights down the middle.
And they started on the right hash mark as well.
Yeah.
So that was it was even crazier there.
That was a crazy kick. There must be either be some really strong wind going on or just the way he sliced that ball. Nonetheless, Oakland takes a 17-0 lead.
So Kyle says, I'm from Milwaukee and I'm on vacation in a hotel in Houston and my sister is making us watch a Christmas movie. So I typed up Monday Night Football and saw this.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you're watching us instead of Christmas Story because, I mean, you can watch Christmas Story.
It doesn't say Christmas Story. It says Christmas movie.
Oh, I thought you said Christmas Story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
Well, Christmas movies are like 24 hours a day right now.
Christmas
right?
Story is on, what is it, TBS all the time?
Yeah, it's like 24 Christmas hours Day. Straight.
Krista McCollum says, Sacramento, California. I was just searching YouTube and ran across you guys and decided to give it a try. Glad I did.
Appreciate that, for sure.
And Joe says, BRB.
Be right back. All right, Joe. Handle your business, brother. We'll see you when you get back.
I don't even know what you need to do. Just BRB is good enough for me. Thank you.
As the Raiders line up here for the kickoff, we got 19 seconds left to go here in the first half. And the ball falls off the tee. So, yeah, I'm assuming there are some wind conditions affecting things here. Obviously, we saw the field goal there.
Is that why Elway's wearing his OJ gloves?
He could be. It could be very well be. Those isotoners do really good, especially when they fit right. They fit nice. Talk to OJ about that.
Yeah, right. One of the things I thought was interesting when they showed the shot of Elway, it looked like he was in a booth, but there was the glass was missing on the lower half. Yeah, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, look at that one. Wow. That one goes out of bounds as he shanked that one to the left. Yeah, there's definitely got to be strong winds. As John Gruden not happy, the ball is going to get spotted at the 40-yard line. As it goes out of bounds.
The words out of John Gruden's mouth that didn't cross the air were, "Are you effing kidding me?"
Man.
That was a shank and a half to the left.
Well, look, Denver's still got 2 timeouts left. There's 19 seconds left to go in the first half. A couple of completions here will get you into field goal range enough to at least take a shot at 3 points here.
Kathy
that would go a long way.
Kathy says she's in the Missouri Ozarks from KC.
Nice. Appreciate you tuning in.
All right, Keenum in the gun. He's got Freeman out to his right, looking left, looking downfield. Ooh, almost intercepted there as he overthrows Sutton by about 6-8 yards. Sutton trying to dive for it and just could not get there.
What did Keenum lay in? Did he lay in
the
like
black,
a cake?
It's the black paint.
It looks like he laid in like dark icing.
There's
like
just a black splotch on Keenum's jersey on his left shoulder.
Looks like cake. Keenum lines in the gun here.
you threw me off that statement. Keenum's going to line up in the gun. He's got Freeman out to his left, 2 wide receivers to the right, steps back, feeling pressure, throws over the middle to his tight end, Parker, I'm surprised there's not a pass interference as the defender was all over Parker's arms, and Parker turned around looking for it.
Definitely
broken up by Key.
For sure.
Apparently, we're killing Kathy with our comments.
Well, you've lightened up since we have an audience downstairs now. You lightened up a little
lightened up
bit.
before she came down here.
Yeah, whatever. Things change.
My wife's sitting on the couch watching. All right, as we're going to see him in the gun yet again. One tight end set to the left, 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. He's going to drop back, had the Freeman in the backfield, looking for Freeman, and he's going to throw it downfield to Sutton. Sutton's going to get hit at about the 40-yard line.
3 seconds left to
little
go.
chippiness afterwards as Sutton is jumping up and shoving his face mask into the defender there.
So if they line up, which they're going to have to here, there's 3 seconds left to go. They're going to have to line up for a field goal. It's going to be a 57-yard field goal. We're obviously seeing the wind conditions. It's hard to tell which way the wind is blowing. So this should be an interesting field goal try, to say the least.
And Kristen says, where are we streaming from? We're streaming from the northeast suburbs of Baltimore in a county about 2 counties away.
So it's basically Baltimore, Maryland. If you know where Baltimore, Maryland is, we're like 15 minutes up the road.
Yeah, not very far at all.
No. As they are going to line up here, McManus is going to line up for a 57-yard field goal.
So this is going to be a deep kick, and if we're saying that wind's a factor here.
Doesn't look like the markers on the poles are moving.
They're not moving at all.
Interesting.
And it's up. It's got the distance, and it's good.
No,
it's short.
Just short.
It had the angle. The distance looked good, but it winds up being short. Let's see how close this is. This has got to be really close, within a yard or two.
Oh,
it is within inches of the goalpost.
Yeah.
Inches there, less than 6 inches. So we end the half with the Raiders up 17-0 over the Broncos. Nobody would have expected this. I didn't expect it, but I do think now that I've seen what's happening, unless the Broncos can get Tim Tebow to come back and play quarterback for them, it's just not going to.
No,
you know where I stand on Tim Tebow.
They're going to need John Elway to come out of the owner's box up there and play quarterback. I like their shot with Elway at 70 years old than they do with Tim Tebow.
At least Tim Tebow can still run.
That's about all they can do is run.
All right, so quick box score here for you. Case Keenum for the Broncos, 10 for 16 for 77 yards. As far as rushing, the team as a whole, 14 carries, 41 yards.
Yeah.
Philip Lindsay's been limited to 31 yards on 7 carries.
Kathy said Tebow. Exactly,
yes, Tebow.
Kathy.
Yes,
my
Tebow.
sentiments exactly.
Receiving, Sutton is leading the team right now. 4 receptions for 39 yards. As a whole, 10 receptions for 77 yards. Keenum does have the 1 fumble, and Lindsay did recover. As far as the Raiders go, on the offensive side of the ball for the Raiders, Derek Carr is 12 for 17 for 121 yards, averaging 7.1 yards per attempt. And let's see, Doug Martin is leading them with 5 carries for 40 yards. I talked in the first quarter about how, especially the first drive, about how they did not involve the running game of Doug Martin at all. Yeah. And they've come out with him with a heavy dose of him. It's only 40 yards, but 5. It's opened up that passing game for Derek Carr to be able to hit some of these guys downfield, including former Raven Darren Waller.
Right.
Nelson leading 3 receptions for 42 yards. As a team, 12 receptions for 120 yards, averaging 10.1 yards per reception in this game right now.
All right, so let's get to some of these halftime questions that we had from some of the subscribers and some of the people in the chat room. They wanted us to talk about the Seahawks and their position in the playoffs. So right now, obviously, Seattle coming off the big victory at home this week against Kansas City in Kansas City, which was a very, very entertaining game. Went down to the last couple of minutes there. You got to see Russell Wilson kind of in his element. We saw all facets of his game and what he can do against defenses. And that's kind of been the story of the year with Russell Wilson's and Seattle's offense. At 9-6 on the year, you can see the potential of this team and what this team can do. It's just been the consistency issues. It's almost as if they're 2 totally different teams at home versus on the road.
They are. When you see this team play, they are so sporadic sometimes in their ability to make downfield plays, and the defense at times has been questionable for the Seahawks.
Right.
Which you don't normally think of that when
No.
you think of the Seahawks. You think of the Seahawks mainly as a defensive team with offensive threat in Russell Wilson. And look, not trying to take away from Russell Wilson here, but this team historically, kind of similar to the Ravens, has been a defensive team. They've lost a lot of defensive players that made big impacts on that defense, including guys like Richard Sherman.
Right.
I'm sorry, you can't replace Richard Sherman. If Seahawks, if you thought you were going to be able to replace Richard Sherman, it's just not going to happen. He is a shutdown DB.
Yeah. I mean, he was. I mean, granted, he's getting a little up there in age. He hasn't been playing.
He's also playing for San Francisco. I still say.
Well, if you're a shutdown corner, it doesn't matter what team you're playing on. Your job is to shut down the opposing wide receiver that you're going against, regardless of what jersey you're wearing. He's getting up there in age. He's still a great corner. There's no doubt about it. It's, there's obviously in the NFL, there's the salary cap reasons, and that's probably a big part of the reason that Sherman's not in Seattle anymore. But nonetheless, you're right. I mean, this is a team that over the last, we'll say 6-7 years that we've seen them kind of dominate their division. They've been built around the defense first and foremost, and now we're starting to see it transition more to an offensive team where Russell Wilson's being asked to do a little bit more to carry this team, and he's answered the call in most cases. He's had a pretty darn good year.
Yeah, and they clinched their playoff berth at this point. So, look, I'm going to say second round for them. I just think there's too much going on in the NFC. When you look at teams and the hot hands right now, teams like Chicago, New Orleans, and the Rams, those are tough games.
Yeah.
There is going to be no easy game in the NFC. And that includes Dallas if they can continue on this run since they got Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up Chicago, and I'll just talk about Chicago for a second. Chicago is a team that nobody wants to play in the NFC right now. When we talk about the high-flying offense that kind of is the NFL right now and kind of what sells in the NFL right now, two teams that I don't think any other team wants to see in the playoffs right now, the Bears in the NFC and the Ravens in the AFC. And I say that not because I'm a homer, not because I'm a Ravens fan, but because these are the two most dominant defensive teams in the NFL right now. They're playing at their highest level going into the playoffs if the Ravens can finish the job next week against Cleveland. These are two teams that, again, we'll talk about the Ravens. The Ravens played the Chiefs down to the wire, should have beaten the Chiefs if you're being real about it, in Kansas City. Lost on an extra point attempt to the Saints by a missed extra point, a rare missed extra point by Tucker, and then just beat the Chargers, which the Chargers were probably one of the more balanced teams in the AFC. They're
Agreed.
A good offensive team, a good defensive team. And you're seeing that same kind of production from the Bears in the NFC. The Bears are a scary team out there, very good defensive. Trubisky, again, not doing too much to kind of lose the game for Chicago in there, doing enough to put points on the board and keep their team winning week in and week out. It's a scary team.
It's definitely a scary team. I tell you another team that was brought up. I think Joe brought them up. Is Indy right now?
Oh yeah,
Indy is on a roll.
Yeah,
and he asked, can they sustain it in the playoffs? Do they make the playoffs? Do they get a playoff spot? Look, right now they are in a playoff spot. They at this point control their own destiny. Yep. If they win, they're in. If they lose, they have to hope that the Titans, the Ravens, and the Steelers all lose as well.
Right.
Because if the Steelers win, they hold the tiebreaker, I believe, over both of them. At that point, you also need the Ravens to either hold or win so that you can keep one of them, and that kicks Tennessee out of the hunt at that point.
Yeah, Indianapolis is a team that had a lot of question marks going into this year as to how they were going to do. You obviously get Andrew Luck back, one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but hadn't played in a very long time. A lot of questions around his throwing arm, how much strength he was going to have. But he obviously put the time in the offseason. He came in physically in the best shape I've ever seen him in. He's a workaholic. I mean, this guy is a football junkie. Takes his profession very seriously, and obviously it's paying dividends. I've said this over the past couple of weeks. I think the biggest difference in Indy is their new head coach in Frank Reich. We're starting to see what happened in Philadelphia, losing Frank Reich, and what we're seeing the offense start to flourish as the season goes on, as the offense gets more and more comfortable there in Indy. That's another dangerous team out there that not many people are going to want to play against. Again, a very well-built team on both sides of the ball.
Agreed. Kyle says, I agree with what you say about the Ravens. Their power run game is crazy with Lamar Jackson, and the defense is stellar, and the Bears are tough.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you're just talking offensive football, we all know who the dominant offensive football teams are. The Kansas City's going to put up the most points out of anybody. The Saints are going to be right up there with them. The Rams, if they're playing in warm weather, do really, really well. They do not like the cold, especially Jared Goff. These are some of the more
up until this week, the Chargers.
Right, and the Chargers, exactly. So these are some of the more prolific offenses, but we know what some of these teams' holes are, and it's on the defensive side of the ball. Kansas City, the worst rated defense in the NFL right now, but their offense is scoring at an unbelievable clip, so they're able to overcome that. The Rams, again, when they're playing in warm conditions, they're a very, very hard team to stop, but they've got a lot of personality issues there. I just don't trust the Rams. I think they've got the best player in the NFL in Todd Gurley. I think he's the best running back in the league. But again, you got a lot of fiery personalities, a lot of guys that like to get into crap that they shouldn't be getting into on the defensive side of the football. I just don't trust the Rams.
Yeah, sorry, I had to start laughing. Jimmo says, on the eighth day, God created the Green Bay Packers, and it was done. And then on the ninth day, he fires Mike McCarthy. Just saying. Our boy Tom Brady. We haven't seen Tom in a while.
Hey, what's going on, Tom?
Tom saying, Pat's right back into the 2 seed. I think we can make a run.
Look, you can never discount the Patriots.
We've said that.
We say this week in and week out. This is a team that obviously has a lot of playoff experience, has a lot of Super Bowl experience. You've got one of the best coaches in the league. You've got arguably the best quarterback to ever strap it up. It's a team you can never count out, and it's a team that nobody wants to play. But I will say this. If there is a kryptonite to the Patriots, even at home, John Harbaugh and the Ravens.
Oh, whoa.
John Harbaugh and the Ravens have been their
I'm going to stop you right there, sir.
Don't
it is Joe
give me
Flacco
Joe
and
Flacco.
the Ravens.
Don't give me Joe Flacco. It's John Harbaugh and the Ravens. The Lamar effect. I'm all aboard the Lamar train. We're going to ride into Indy.
Just
winners.
asking, how many times has Lamar beat Brady? It hasn't
He
happened.
hasn't even played him yet. Don't knock what hasn't even happened yet. Golly, give the kid a shot.
Nah, Lamar has been doing great. I do think it does say something that I think it's going to be interesting if that were to be a matchup for the playoffs. What's the call there? And I know that it's real easy to say take the hot hand. You know how I am when it comes to history. In a lot of these teams, a lot of these games, who is the quarterback that has the most wins in the playoffs against Tom Brady and the Patriots?
There's
not just
no
Tom Brady.
Denying the history. There's absolutely no denying the history. But let's not kid ourselves. This Ravens team was 4-5 before Lamar came in.
Tom says I'm not on the Lamar train.
That's all right. We don't need you on the Lamar train, Tom.
He does say, though, if the Ravens get in, they are dangerous, and they are.
They are.
He also said Zeke is the best running back in the league.
He is, and like I said, we're starting to see him get back to what he was doing when in his rookie year, when Dak Prescott had his best season, Zeke had his best season. Ever really since they lost Des Bryant there in Dallas, they haven't replaced that number one receiver. Now they have that in Amari Cooper, and we're starting to see Prescott throw the ball better. And again, that's opening holes that weren't there before for Zeke, and we're seeing his dominance come back.
Jim O says, I'm not on the Lamar train either.
That's all right.
Can't toss the ball. Playoff teams will expose him.
Nah, we just took on 2 playoff teams. The Chiefs in Kansas City should have won that game. That wasn't on Lamar. We did beat San Diego in San Diego,
and you can't take San Diego lightly.
I understand the skepticism. I get it. Like, he needs some improvement in the passing game, but what he brings to this team on the ground, time of possession and how that affects the defense and the amount that they're having to be on the field, it's a scary team.
Tom chimes in and says it's about this year, guys. 5 years ago doesn't have anything to do with the next few weeks.
I agree with
up.
that. So I'm not saying anything about the past. I'm talking about right now.
Just remember,
I like our chances.
Just remember, you have to learn from your past. Just saying, Tom.
As we get ready for the second half here, as the Broncos kick the ball off. Ball's going to be caught about midway in the end zone and down for a touchback. Let me change the quarter here.
Kyle says, I'm not on the Lamar train yet, but he has been doing great. Only thing I've been concerned about is the hit that he takes. That was actually a concern of ours when we saw him in training camp. Being Ravens fans, being able to see an early exposure to what Lamar was doing, that was one of the things that scared us.
Yeah.
It still scares us because Lamar is still diving headfirst a lot of the time.
Yep. Derek Carr here to start off the second half in the gun. Man down. No idea what's happening right now. As we lost connection here. Bear with us a second as we try to get this back up. Well, looks like Bradley Chubb was in on the play. As we get the let's see what happened here. Derek Carr in the gun under pressure. Just gets rid of the ball. He does get it complete for a 3-yard gain. Brings up 2nd down and 7. Carr in the gun, hands the ball off to Martin. Martin goes left side, can't get around the edge as he's hit at the line of scrimmage. May have gained a half a yard on that play. It's going to bring up 3rd down and long. Oakland leading Denver 17-0 here. 14 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
And we got 40 of you guys watching out there. We really appreciate it. Everybody's been kind of chiming in as much as possible. Feel free to chime in when we have breaks, when it's commercial breaks, when it's a long timeout, anything like that. We will answer your questions.
All right. Carr here in the gun. Single back formation. He's got trips out to his right. He's looking right. Throws across the middle, but the ball is batted down. There's a late flag that comes in here. I don't know if that was maybe a late hit on the quarterback, if there was holding. I don't know, but that flag definitely came in well after the play was over. And it's a personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty and a 1st down. As Denver had held there to a 4-and-out.
Denver has just been
shooting themselves in the foot.
Oh,
that's ticky-tack.
That's a ticky-tack call. It actually looks like Carr flops a little bit here.
Well, he gets –
Yeah, no, he flops. His body's moving downwards before he gets hit.
Yeah, guy came in low, rolling at his feet. Clipped his foot as Miller was coming up top with a little bit of a push, and Carr goes down on his back. So it's, I guess, enough for them to throw the flag and call roughing the passer, if that's what you want to call roughing.
Shinshinka Joe's back. Sorry, Joe, while you were gone, we did answer your question on Indy.
Yeah, man. So you have to go back and watch that, but we did talk about it for sure. So Carr lines up here under center. He's got single back formation. 2 wide receivers out to his right. He brings one in motion. Play action pass, looking over the middle, looking left side. Throws it out. Is that Nelson?
That's Waller.
That's Waller, yeah, complete for 3 yards. Not used to seeing Waller out there. Used to seeing Cook, so I'm not used to his number. But, yeah, Darren Waller with the completion there. A gain of about 3 yards, going to bring up 2nd down and 7.
This Denver defense really needs to step up in this second half and stop Derek Carr and this offense from charging downfield as they have been almost at will to some extent. So if they can't do that, this Raiders offense is going to run all over them. This is going to be a game that nobody expected.
No.
Is that Cook coming back out on the field?
Yeah, it looks like Cook's back out on the field. He's lined up in the wide as a wide receiver. Carr in the gun, looking Cook's way, but actually throws it out to Martin. There was a little bit of contact there early, but the ball was thrown out way too far out in front of Martin. Martin wouldn't have caught that ball anyway. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 8.
And I think they're on about the 44-yard line, I believe.
Yeah, just under 13 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Oakland has trailed in the final minute of fourth quarter in all 3 wins this season. That's an interesting stat.
What does that have to do? Because they're not trailing right now.
Yeah,
I don't know where that stat comes in.
I don't know why that came in, but it's an interesting stat nonetheless. Carr lined up in the gun, single back formation. Martin lined up, or it's actually Richard lined up to his left. 2 wide receivers out to his right, hands it off on a draw to Richard. Richard goes up the middle, gains about 6 yards on the play. It's going to be short of the first down by about 2. It's going to bring up 4th down and 2 from the 50-yard line.
Kyle says, I hate the new rules about roughing the passer, and it makes me mad. Yeah, the roughing the passer rules are...
I understand that, they got to try to protect the quarterback as much as possible, but some of these play calls, some of these penalties are just very ticky-tacky. At the end of the day, it's football. They're an NFL quarterback. Man up. As the Raiders line up here to punt, get the ball off clean.
It's going to be Hamilton back to field the punt at about the 16-yard line. So Case Keenum and this Denver offense will come back out after the commercial break with 12:07 left in the third quarter. Tom says, you guys think Carr is trash. My answer to that is no.
Yeah, no.
I think Carr is a average to slightly above average quarterback that just doesn't have weapons and has a situation right now in John Gruden. I've never been a fan of John Gruden's play calling and who he's chosen to do the play calling. When you look back, when he was in Tampa Bay for a little while, it was the same situation where you had a decent quarterback, but the play calling wasn't fit for that. And I think when you see and you have the weapons and you have the ability, he goes to a team. I know Watson's not going anywhere, but he goes to a team like Texas with DeAndre Hopkins. He's taken that team to the playoffs and potentially, a little bit further with weapons because he can be an accurate thrower. Though my one knock on him is his ability to adjust the play call at the line of scrimmage. But then I also question, have they given him that authority and that ability?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the Gruden thing goes, Gruden's been out of the NFL for a long time, and the NFL has changed, and he's running a lot of the same schemes and offensive plays that he ran a decade ago. And I'm not saying that they can't work, but you need to throw in some new looks. You need to throw in some new twists. Obviously, the rule changes have played an effect on that, and that's why this offense isn't as efficient as it is. But at the end of the day, it starts in the trenches. You got to have a good offensive line around Derek Carr. You got to give him time to be able to go through his progressions. When your number one target at wide receiver is an aging Jordy Nelson, I mean,
might
you don't
be a slight problem.
Yeah,
I love Jordy, but
yeah, I respect Jordy, and I think he was a great wide receiver for many years in Green Bay, partly due to him and partly due to the quarterback he had thrown his way. But if that's your number one target, that's a problem. You've got to address the wide receiver position in Oakland. You got to give him some more weapons if you expect to get the best out of him. And it really goes for any quarterback.
Problem is the Raiders always, for the most part, always have and definitely are over the next few years, I'm sure. They're penny pinching.
Yeah.
They are trying to get as much under the salary cap as they can and trying to release guys that maybe they need. As Keenum's going to line up, 3 in the backfield, sends Genovic in motion. Freeman's out of the backfield, and it's going to be a catch out to tight end. Who is that?
I think it was Brian Parker.
Was that Parker again?
Yeah.
So hard to see. Their jerseys are getting so dirty from this field. It is ridiculous. There's black streaks down half these jerseys on the Broncos sideline. As Keenum's going to line up in the I formation again. Genovic in the backfield. Puts Booker in motion. Hands the ball off to Lindsey. Lindsey's going to get out a gain of about 6, and we're going to see 2nd and 4 from about the 38-yard line, it looks like.
Look, it's still early enough in this game. There's 11 minutes left to go in the third quarter. If Denver wants to get back in this game, they're going to have to rely heavily on their running game. They're going to have to limit the amount of times that Oakland can get the ball. I mean, but their workhorse is Phillip Lindsay. Yeah. They got to get him involved. They got to get him more carries if they want to win this game.
You've got to feed him the rock, and you've got to open up with Keenum's ability to throw over the middle, that's the only place you're going to get it. As Keenum takes a snack, hands the ball off to Lindsey. Lindsey bounces left, then bounces back out to the right, and he's going to get a gain of about 3 on the play. So we're going to see 3rd and 1.
We've had about 40 or 50 of you guys in here, in and out throughout the entire night. We want to just say we appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure while you're here, you hit that thumbs up, hit the like. That means a lot to us. Again, it helps us get found in all the YouTube search engines. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. Get the little alert that pops up on the feed. So we appreciate you guys tuning in for sure.
As Keenum's going to line up in the gun. Freeman out to his right. 2 wide receivers set to the left. Tight end in motion on the right-hand side. Drops back, looking right. Throws it off to Freeman. Freeman's going to bounce back out. Gets out to about the 50-yard line, but we've got Laundry on the field.
There's a flag on the field.
Kyle says, should the Packers get a new QB soon? I think yes, because of injuries and age. Tell me what you think.
I think that's a little premature. I would say maybe in the next 2 or 3 years, you want to start planning for the future with him. You're right. I mean, there have been some injuries to Rodgers that's concerning. But he's still at an elite level, and you don't want to run what you've seen in New England, right? They've drafted some quarterbacks early on thinking that Tom was going to retire and then ended up having to trade him off.
Offensive pass interference there on Sutton, by the way. So now they're facing 3rd and 12. In the gun is Keenum, 3 wide, drops back. Just gets it off in time, scrambling, and hits his lineman in the head with the ball as he's trying to get it to Freeman.
Which way did it go, George? Which way did it go?
He was just throwing it to try and get it to Freeman and didn't recognize that the lineman was moving right.
Wow.
Not blocking anybody, by the way. There was nobody for him to block.
Hit me in the back of the head. Oh, man.
Natalie says, who do you think will win? I originally said this would be a Broncos win, but the way this game is going and the punt that's about to happen for the Broncos to the Raiders and the way the Raiders have been playing on offense, I have to say I can't lie to myself. I think the Raiders are going to win this game as much as I would love to stick with my Broncos original pick.
All right. Harris with the reception there makes a move. Gets out across the 30, gets down and tackled at about the 31-yard line, and that's where Oakland will come out for this possession. I think their second possession now of the second half. Derek Carr.
318 straight passes without an interception for Derek Carr.
Wow.
That's an interesting stat.
Yeah, so all those naysayers out there that want to talk negatively about Derek Carr, again, it's the team that's kind of constructed around him. He's playing pretty good football right now. And with limited options and with limited weapons, you put a good offensive line around him, put up some weapons out there, and the kid can sling it. There's no doubt about it.
He definitely can. So we have a few people chiming in. Natalie says, we already addressed Natalie on who you think will win. Shinshika Joe says, I'm thinking one more season as is regarding Rodgers. And Jim O's response is, let's get Rodgers a legit understudy and let him ride the bench for about 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if that's the approach, you can do that. I mean, that's kind of what Rodgers did behind Favre. I mean, he sat for 3 years before he finally got his opportunity out in Green Bay. Just typically, you don't see quarterbacks sit for that long. I mean, you're talking about if you're drafting a first-round quarterback, contract is for 5 years. And if he's going to sit for 3 or 4, that really only gives you 1 year of evaluation.
I think Jim's not going that way. If it's me, and maybe I'm wrong on where he's thinking, I think he's thinking maybe you get a guy late in the 3rd, maybe the 4th round.
Well, that's different.
That's a guy that you let
That's
do.
different. If you got a guy that you really value and you like a lot, and you think that he's a project and can be worked for 3 or 4 years into the quarterback that you want him to be, yeah, you spend a 3rd or 4th round draft pick on a guy like that. But if you're thinking, well, we're having a bad year this year, we're going to have a high draft pick, maybe we take one of the top-tier quarterbacks in this draft coming up, I just don't see this team. You're
not taking a Haskins and making him sit.
Right, yeah, you just don't do that. And then you get controversy and who should be out there, and you got a future Hall of Famer in Aaron Rodgers who's by no means done. He's still got quite a few years left in him. They just need to retool out there in Green Bay, and they'll be a dangerous team again.
Yeah, it looks
Susan says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Susan. Happy holidays to everybody out there. Again, appreciate you guys tuning in on Christmas Eve, watching this Monday Night Football stream with us.
Jim did confirm he was thinking later round QB, small project. I agree 100% there.
If that's the approach, I do agree with that for sure.
Natalie is a Raiders fan. She doesn't like speaking early. She thinks they need a better O-line.
Yeah, like I said, it starts in the trenches there. Osemele's really their best offensive lineman.
And we know him well.
We know him very well. But outside of that, they got a lot of work to do. Carr lines up here in the gun. He's got single back formation. Looking out to his right, he throws to Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson makes a guy miss. Gets out of bounds for a gain of about 8 yards there. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 2. We got just over 9 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Again, Oakland leading 17-0.
This Denver defense right now just does not have an answer for Derek Carr in this Oakland offense.
No. Gun again lines up in the center, or in the gun. Single back formation, hands off to, is that Martin or is that Richard? Couldn't tell. I think it was Richard. No, it was actually Washington. Hands off to Washington. He goes left side of the line, can't get around the edge, loses maybe a half yard on that play.
I'm sorry. I love the Sandlot play by Derek Carr right now.
Yeah.
He is handing the ball off, and he clearly doesn't have the ball in his hands, but he's acting like he's faking it the complete other way.
All it takes is that one defender to fool. You get one person out of position, and it makes it worth it.
And if you get that one defender out of position, that defender shouldn't be on the field anymore because he clearly didn't have the ball. Everybody on the field could see that.
Derek Carr again in the gun here. Single back formation, 2 wide receivers out to his right. He's looking to his left, looking to the middle, looking to the right. Throws to Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson looking for a flag.
Carr's calling for it, too.
Felt like he was held. Carr is pissed off, too. He got the ball out in front of Jordy Nelson, which should have been a pretty easy completion there for Derek Carr, but there was some contact definitely before the ball got there. Nonetheless, no flag was thrown on the play. It's going to bring up 4th down and 2.
Gruden cursing at the refs, too.
To punt. Yeah.
It's
Chucky.
Every other word out of Chucky's mouth is an F-bomb. I swear, every time I'm watching a game with him. As Townsend's going to be back for the kick for the Raiders, gets it off fairly clean, and you're going to see Hamilton back and has to dive for the ball on the fair catch at the 19 yard line here, depending on where they stop
out of
it.
Bounds at that point.
You know what? No, I don't think you let that go, because if you let that go and it rolls back, you're pinning yourself deeper.
He's trying to keep himself moving forward. The ball is carrying towards the sideline. That ball would have hit 3 feet short of the out of bounds line.
I don't know his history. Maybe he was a center fielder. It was a pretty good catch. All right, leave the guy alone.
There's another baseball reference for you.
If you can't tell, I am a big baseball fan as well. Kathy says, where are the Eagles now, if I may get off subject more?
The Eagles are they're on the outside looking in. I don't even know if I'm trying to think, do they even have a shot at the playoffs right now?
The Eagles are 8-7. Minnesota's 8-6. They would have to take over the spot for Minnesota. So Minnesota would have to lose, and Philly has to win. That's the only way that Philly can get into this.
And look, Philly, all they need is a shot. If they can get in,
hey, they got it. It's called Nick Foles,
right? And Nick Foles, whether you're a fan of Nick Foles or not, or whether you're a Carson Wentz fan or not, things are oddly similar to the way that they happened last year with the Eagles and the way Carson Wentz went down and Nick Foles kind of came in. Now, granted, when Nick Foles came in last year, the Eagles were in a lot better playoff position than they are this year. But that's what I mean.
Last year it was Nick Foles, don't screw this up.
Yeah, don't F this one up.
This year, it's
here you go.
Nick Foles, can you get us in again?
Yeah, help us out here, buddy. You did it once, do it twice. No, but they can be a dangerous team if they can get in. But they're going to need a little bit of help. Who does Minnesota play this week? Do we have the schedule for that?
I'm pulling up the schedule now for that. It looks like they play.
Mine is not loading very fast.
Mine's not either. Here it is. All right, so it looks like Minnesota. Ooh, that's going to be a game to watch. Minnesota faces the Bears.
Oh, man, yeah.
That will be
for Minnesota there.
Game to watch. And for those of you that don't know, a lot of these games were in fact flexed to a 4:25 game time, including the Ravens. I believe also the Steelers game was also flexed.
Pretty much every game that had
playoff
implications that weren't already at 4 or 8 o'clock, they were flexed out to those positions. Matter of fact, the Colts game was flexed out to Sunday Night Football, I believe, primetime.
Yes, Colts-Titans.
Yep, Colts-Titans.
8:20.
That game there will decide.
That decides that last playoff spot if
sixth
the Ravens win and the Steelers lose.
Right.
As the Ravens would win the conference. And at this point, it's going to be there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games at 4:25. As Keenum drops back from the gun, looking right, and it's caught by Patrick. Wow, what a catch! As he's thrown to the side, it's thrown to the sideline where only Patrick could get it over his right shoulder, draped by the defender, and comes down with the catch.
Keenum with the rainbow pass.
Wow,
there.
I'm sorry, that ball was thrown on the inside. He reaches around the defender to catch the ball, brings it back in one-handed.
What a catch!
Keenum in the gun, drops back, looking downfield again. Ooh, and it's going to be deep, almost intercepted.
Ball was thrown 2 or 3 yards over Hamilton's head there as Joseph almost came up with the diving interception there, but that just falls as an incomplete pass.
Kathy says, what does flexed out mean? That means the game was originally scheduled at 1 o'clock or another time, and they move it out or they flex it out to a different time in order to really get all these games being basically decided at the same time.
Yeah, what they call prime time football.
It's a playbook out of Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball moved to the last game of the year because there are playoff implications. Every game is played at the exact same time so that no team is waiting. You find out after the last game's over.
Right.
As Keenum's back in the gun, gets it off just before the clock is out, and it looked like, who was that there? It was Hamilton that slipped as it was intended for Hamilton on the right side. They have just not been able to get this offense going on a consistent basis. Every time they get a little bit of, chugging and churning down the field, they just can't keep the momentum. Keenum in the gun, comes up to the line, makes a play call. Going to shift around a few guys. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 1 tight end set to the right. Drops back in the gun, takes a snap, drops back, feels pressure, runs forward into the pocket, still up. He is up to the line of scrimmage.
Wow.
Past the line of scrimmage. He is at the 42-yard line before
cow.
he is taken down. They are trying to push. He's calling 2-minute offense, no huddle here. He's trying to get him up to the line quick.
What a play by Keenum. He avoids like 3 different tacklers on that play to get a first down. Big play.
Goes back into the gun again. 2 wide receiver set. Hands the ball off to Freeman. Freeman's going to get it out about 3, maybe 4 yards here. Let's see where the spot is. It looks like it's going to be
on that
3.
play, Keenum dropped back there. He had heat coming up the middle, avoids 1 defender, gets to the line of scrimmage, decides to tuck the ball away. He's met by 2 defenders at the first down marker, makes a move, and gets the first down yardage.
Keenum in gun again. Looking left, feeling pressure again. Hits over the center. Ooh, big hit there.
Joseph with the big hit on Hamilton as Hamilton held on to the ball.
And going to get a first down for it as well.
Was right at the first down marker, but Joseph with the big thumping hit there. Clean hit, no flag on the play or anything as he came in shoulder first.
6:20 left in this third quarter.
Kathy says more economical. It's not more economical. I think it's more just...
Keenum gets the ball. He's going to hand it off to Freeman again. Freeman's going to get a gain of about 4, maybe 5, depending on the spot here.
I think it's more about ratings for that. It's obviously you don't want some of your games to decide the playoff picture too early where people don't tune into the 4 o'clock games or 8 o'clock games because they don't have as much meaning. Now people will be watching the entire slew of games.
All right, and Keenum's going to come out. He's got Lindsey in the backfield to his right, trips out to the right as well. He's going to hand the ball off to Lindsey, fakes the handoff, throws it out to Lindsey. Lindsey's going to get out to about the 20, gets past the 20, down to about the 15. 14 is where he's going to go be taken down by Whitehead. Keenum calling again, no huddle, getting everybody lined up. This fast pace is putting this.
Jim asks, is Matt Lacoste, the tight end, playing for Denver? I've seen him out there earlier on in this game, but I haven't seen him out there in a while.
Parker's been out there a lot more.
Right.
As Keenum's in the gun, he's going to hand the ball off to Lindsey. Lindsey's going to drive up the middle. He's going to get to about the 8-yard line, maybe even the 7, depending on the spot here.
Finally getting the workhorse running back involved, and we're starting to see them finally move the ball.
Moving the chains and getting downfield as quickly as possible. And that's what's working for Keenum right now is this no-huddle offense as they go again. Keenum in the gun. 2 wide receivers set to the left, tight end set to the right, and Parker makes an adjustment at the line after the defense showing blitz, looking like they're going to bring about 5, maybe 6 guys in the box. And now they're going to flood the box with 7 guys.
Single coverage, Tim Patrick down low, but he
looking
goes to the
down
left.
in the corner, and it's caught by Hamilton for a touchdown. Denver. What a play, and well read by Case Keenum that he saw that defense and it saw the single coverage all day long. He knew he was going to be able to hit Hamilton in the back corner of the end zone for that touchdown.
Yeah, big play there. Good read by Keenum. Good throw to be able to put it in a place where only Hamilton could make the play. Hamilton able to get both feet in bounds there. Touchdown for the Broncos as the Broncos cut into the lead, 17-6. McManus lines up for the extra point. Kick is up.
Right down the middle. It's good.
And
with
good.
4:36 left in the third. Look, that play is going to be really underrated because Keenum made the play call adjustment at the line. He saw them stacking the box with 5, made the play call adjustment, and then they brought 7.
Yeah, I mean, he had single coverage, man-on-man coverage, both sides of the football field. On those type of plays, you usually see the fade routes thrown to the back corner of the end zone, throw a jump ball, especially to a taller, rangy receiver. That's why I was kind of looking at Sutton down low,
right.
Single coverage. You got a tall receiver there. But able to, create separation with Hamilton on the out pattern there and made a good throw.
Kyle says, Lindsey is having a great year and has a great story. He does have a great story.
Yeah.
Having an even greater year, in my opinion. If he is on a playoff contention team, he's an even bigger threat.
Yeah, I mean,
if I was Denver, as much as they probably wouldn't want to, I would have tried to get top dollar for a trade for him.
Yeah,
you could have let him go and gotten a lot back in return with the way that he's played this year. I'm surprised that that I remember, I don't know if you remember, there were no real rumors surrounding him, which surprises me just with how well he's been playing and how consistently he's playing all year.
Talking about Lindsey?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a diamond in the rough. He's a rookie that you got undrafted. If you're really trying to build your offense around a player like that, I don't see trading a guy like that. I mean, yeah, you might get a pick or two, but this is a guy that just getting a start, just kind of scratching the surface. To your point there, not on a playoff contention team. They've got some work to do on the offensive line. If they can build that offensive line up a little bit and get a quarterback in there that can actually sling the ball around a little bit better than Case Keenum, you're just going to see Philip Lindsay blossom year in and year out and become better and better.
True to that. Jim O says, nice play calling on that score. Great how you guys play, hand off and play off each other. Really good show. We appreciate that, man.
Appreciate that, Jim.
We've actually had a lot of people out there say that we have like a natural chemistry. Ironically, Fred and I met this year.
Yeah.
This has been a big year for us. We met in March, started doing the podcast with him and Ryan. They brought me in, welcomed me with open arms, and we've just really taken off with everything we've been doing with the podcast, now here with the Monday night streams. So
that's all because of you guys, man. We really do appreciate every single one of you guys out there listening, all the ones that have taken the top opportunity to hit that thumbs up, all of that support. It's what keeps us going. It's why we do what we do. We have a lot of fun doing it. But we do it for all you guys out there, so we really, really appreciate that. Thanks for the kind words and the feedback, man. We appreciate it. McManus lines up for the kickoff here as Harris on the 2-yard line fields the ball. He gets out across the 15, 20, 25, down at about the 28-yard line.
Harris has been a big threat in this game.
He was one shoestring tackle away there from maybe taking that to the house.
By the way, we have 35 people out there watching and 20 thumbs up.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. We appreciate each one of those thumbs up. If you haven't already, do us a favor, hit that thumbs up. It means the world to us. And if you haven't hit subscribe, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on your notifications. That way, when the playoffs come around and we do another live stream, you guys will get notified for that. As Derek Carr lines up in the gun, he's got Martin out to his right, brings Roberts in motion, hands the ball off to Martin. Martin goes up the middle, finds a hole, gains about 8 yards. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 2.
All right. Kathy says, before I go away from this game to sleep, please tell me when y'all will be back. Look, I'll say it right now. You doing anything next Sunday that you know of?
Not that I can think of.
Well, you're gonna be at the game.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I was gonna say we could do the Sunday night game. We will find one of the playoff games, and we'll post. Pay attention to our social media pages because we also have full-time jobs that we'll have to kind of figure out which game.
As Derek Carr hands the ball off here again to Doug Martin. Doug Martin finds a hole in the left side of the line, gains first down yardage and more.
Martin almost got stopped in the backfield there and bounced out to his left to get out on the passing line of scrimmage there.
Yeah, he gets out to about the 44-yard line for a nice 8-yard gain there before he's finally brought down. It's going to bring up 1st and 10 for the Raiders.
Kyle says, I love the show, but do you post every Monday night and do you post on Sunday night? We don't do Sunday night football. That's probably going to be something that we may look into next year, but right now it's just Monday Night Footballs as of right now.
Derek Carr under the center. Play action, scrambles out to his right. He's under pressure. There's a flag on the field as he throws it out to Roberts, but the ball goes out of bounds. There is a flag in the backfield typically when you see this flag, and where it's thrown, there's usually holding on the offense. So we'll see what the play call is here, or what the penalty is here. But yeah, so we do a Baltimore sports podcast every Tuesday night at 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. You can count on that show every single week except for this upcoming week because obviously tomorrow is Christmas. We won't be doing that. We did our show on Sunday yesterday. Monday Night Football has been our live stream night. Obviously, this being the last Monday Night Football game, we will be doing some playoff games. We haven't figured out what that schedule is going to be. That's why I say turn on those notifications because as soon as we go live, you'll get the notification. You can chime in if you want. So Derek Carr lines up in the gun here from the 34-yard line. Looking out to his left, he dumps it off to, I can't tell if that's Martin or it's Richard. Yeah, he got Richard for about a 4-yard gain there. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 6. We're getting down to 3 minutes left to go. Sorry, 2nd down and 10 because they lost yardage. So it's going to bring up 2nd down and 10. We're under 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Oakland leading 17-7 over the Broncos.
As they show Von Miller having a pretty good year.
Sacks.
Pretty good year in sacks, that's for sure.
Carr lines up in the gun. Looking to his left, he throws out to Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson makes 1 miss, 2 miss, gets across midfield, gains about 7 yards there. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 3.
I'll tell you, one guy that's been putting a lot of pressure on Derek Carr tonight has been Bradley Chubb, especially off that blind side, that right side for him. He's been putting the pressure, and he's just manhandling the left tackle for them.
Bradley Chubb was a guy I was really high on coming out of the draft, a guy that, as a Raven fan, I had my eyes on, hoped that he would fall to us, but too good of a player to fall that far in the draft. Great defensive end outside linebacker out of Georgia. Derek Carr on 3rd down and 4 lines up here in the gun. Doesn't like what he sees, and the play clock runs down, so they're going to take a timeout here. Just under 2 minutes left to go in the third.
Kyle says you guys are better than ESPN because I agree with what you say.
Well, we just try to keep it real. It's everything that we talk about.
We love sports, but we're realists.
Yeah, we don't try to fluff things. We don't try to talk things up. We give you our honest takes and our honest opinions on things.
Unless it's the Lamar effect. Just saying.
That's a real thing. Don't you dare shoot that down. There's shirts and everything.
Half these people are saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying.
Hey, half these people in here aren't Ravens fans. They don't have my back.
Oh, my
Jerks.
goodness. Jimbo says, I agree. These guys are for real. Can't wait till they start moving some merch. Hey, we do have merch.
Yeah, man.
I'll give me a second. Let's let Fred do this play call here.
As Carr lines up in the gun, single back formation. He's got trip wide receivers out to his right. He's looking to his right. He throws out to Jordy Nelson for the catch. Sure-handed Nelson with the 1st down reception there. Gain of about maybe 9 or 10 on that play.
Big reception by Nelson for that.
Again, Jordy Nelson, still a productive receiver at his age, very sure-handed. He's a savvy receiver. He knows how to use his body. What he lacks in speed now, he really shows in smarts and his ability to be able to use his body to create separation, and we saw that there on that pass play across the middle. 1st down and 10. Carr now finally lines up under center. How many times have I said that tonight? Not very
Not very
often.
many. He's been in the gun most of the night.
Right. Lines up under center, hands the ball off to Martin. Martin goes left side of the line there, gets through, makes one guy miss, and Vaughn Miller with the shoestring tackle there. Martin, if he gets away from that, I don't think anybody's catching him. Gain of about 4 yards on the play.
Kathy says, love you, just met you. Hell, I may have to stay. She was only getting ready to go to bed. Jim,
we appreciate that, Kathy. You really do.
To your point about merch, you guys can check out our website. All of our links for all of our social media pages, our website, it's all below. It's tons of different stuff out there. There's shirts. We have Birdland BS. We also, if you are a Lamar train fan, there is the hashtag Lamar effect, which Fred started, and we have the shirt out there now.
Taking off like
so
wildfire.
Go check it out, www.birdlandbs.com.
All right, Carr under center, hands the ball off to Martin. Martin goes through the middle there, gains about 2 yards before he's brought down. It's going to bring up third down and maybe 3. As there's 20 seconds left to go in the third, we're going to probably see this tick down to the fourth quarter, and that's going to be a wrap here on the third quarter. As Oakland is going to lead Denver going into the final quarter 17-7.
Didn't think I'd say that the Oakland Raiders would have a 10-point lead going into the fourth.
No. But still, it's a 10-point lead. This game is still in striking distance for Denver. Denver finally started getting things going there late on their last drive. If they can continue that kind of offensive production, they can get back into this game.
They can definitely stay into this game. It's just they need to do it consistently, and they, like you said, they need to be handing the ball to Lindsey. You've got to feed Lindsey, and when Lindsey's not on the field, feed Freeman. But then that opens up the ability for a guy like Sutton to come across the middle and be open. But this Raiders defense has actually been doing a pretty good job of shutting down these wide receivers, and especially on these deep routes. Look, Sutton should have had the one catch, but didn't because the defender put the pressure on him.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, this is it's been a pretty well-dominated game by Oakland so far. One successful drive there by the Broncos late in the third quarter gets them back into the game with the touchdown there to Hamilton. 10-point lead. We still got a full quarter left to play. Denver can get back into this game. They're going to need some help on the defensive side of the football. Going to need some stops. Going to need a turnover, something like that, but they need to get back into this game.
Somebody hit the subscribe button. It looked like DM Crasher. Was that what it was? They hit subscribe. Somebody hits it. It comes up really small on my screen, so it's a little hard to read. But we appreciate the subscribe, guys.
Man, we appreciate each and every one of you, the guys that have hit that like button, have hit that subscribe button. I know I sound like a broken record saying this over and over again, but I don't know how many people were coming in late, how many people have heard us say it. But again, I'm Fred. This is Scott. We're Birdland BS. We're a Baltimore sports podcast first and foremost. We do these Monday Night Football streams because we have a lot of fun doing it. We talk football. We love football in general. We've gotten a good response from it. Again, we do this for 3.5 hours straight, commercial-free, unscripted. We just try to fill the air with as much interaction as we can through you guys, through the chat room. So if you haven't commented in the chat room yet, please do. Feel free to let us know where you're tuning in from. Feel free to get in any questions that you may have for us because we got one quarter left of football, so we're going to try to get in as many questions as we can before we wrap things up.
I was say once this game's over, it's going to be a quick wrap. I got to go get gifts underneath the tree for my kid.
He's got to go play Santa.
I mean, I'm Santa's elf.
Right. Santa's elf.
There may be kids up, Fred. Stop.
I forgot. You should be in bed if you're watching, if you're that young. Golly.
And shame on you, parent, for not putting that kid to bed.
Wait a minute. If they're on the West Coast, they're 3 hours behind. I don't know.
Whatever.
Derek Carr here on 3rd down and 3 from the 31-yard line. Lines up in the gun, single back formation. He's got Jordy Nelson out to his left. That's who he's looking for on a comeback route. He completes it to Nelson for a gain of about 6 before he goes out of bounds. 1st down, Oakland.
Joe says, of course, he's not a Ravens fan. We may meet in the playoffs.
Kathy says, Oakland is winning. I think I'm in a temporary blackout. Yes, Oakland is winning.
Yes.
17-7.
Yes.
Jordy Nelson on the night. He's got 7 catches for 77 yards. Somebody play the pick 3. 7-7-7.
Right.
And that number may hit. As Derek Carr under center, he's in the I formation. Hands it off to Martin. Martin goes left side. Plows through a defender, gains about 3 yards, 3 tough yards there on that play.
Actually, looks like the spot there, maybe even another yard.
Yeah, they might have given him 4 on that play. Derek Carr on the night, he's 18 for 25 of 166 yards. He's got no touchdowns, but more importantly, he's got no turnovers in this game. Haven't really done a whole lot of down the field passing. I mean, he's really only thrown the ball 4 times over 10 yards. He's 2 for 4 on those completions. So a pretty conservative night for Derek Carr. As he's under center here, again, hands the ball off to Martin. Martin goes left side. He's got a hole.
Big
he
bounce.
Gets across the first down yardage, down past the 10, almost down to the 5-yard line before he goes down. I think he's going to be marked down at about the 6-yard line there, as Martin is really starting to wear down this Denver Broncos front 7.
This is what you didn't expect. That's right. I said didn't expect, because if you expected this, you're Nostradamus. I'm just saying. I don't think anybody expected this game to be this much of an offensive type game. And we did have Jessel B says, what are Sutton's current stats? He's got 4 receptions for 39 yards. His longest 20. He's had 7 targets on the night.
Yeah, he had a big play opportunity earlier on in this game that would have put up a good amount of yardage, but he let it go through his hands. Derek Carr, again, lined up in the I formation under center. He hands it off to Martin. Martin goes through the middle, gains about 2 yards before he's brought down at the 4-yard line. It's going to bring up 2nd down and goal.
You know, I don't know what Kyle's laughing at. He's saying LOL at that Santa joke. Santa's real. Don't be kidding yourselves here. There is a tracker that is put out of where Santa is. Go check it out.
Oh yeah, and if it's on the internet, it's definitely real.
Exactly.
All right.
Just saying. Why would my local fire department be pushing that? I'm just saying. If he's not real, why would they do it? Firefighters don't lie.
Derek Carr lines up in the gun here. He's got single back formation. Looks like Richard's out there to his right. Trip wide receivers out to the right. Hands it off to Richard. Richard goes up the middle. Touchdown, Oakland, with the big run up the middle. Ground and pound football. That's how you win in the NFL.
And this just became a 3-score game in the 4th for Oakland. 23-7. You only assume that they're going to be able to hit the extra point, but nothing's guaranteed in this season for extra
don't count
points.
your chickens before they hatch. We learned that the hard way.
We've definitely learned that the hard way against the Saints.
Right.
But look, assuming they hit this is now going to be a 24-7 game. It makes it a 3-point game. I don't know that Denver and this offense with Keenum can come back, even with 12-16 left in the 4th. I just don't know. I don't see it happening here.
Yeah, as the kick is up and the extra point is good, that puts the Oakland Raiders up 24-7. Yeah, I mean, again, Denver, to get back in this game now, going to need a lot of help. What do we got? Hashtag Santa's real. You know what? Don't tempt me. I will put that on a shirt. I've done it before. I will put that on a shirt. You guys got to, if you haven't yet, you got to check out our podcast from not last night, but our podcast from last Tuesday. So we weren't positive that we were going to be doing another podcast prior to Christmas, but we did do one last night. The one that we did last Tuesday night, if you go to our page there on YouTube and you check it out.
It's the first episode 76 because there was a muff up in the typing.
We did a holiday special. We had a holiday backdrop here. I was in my Santa hat. He had his Orioles Santa hat on. We had a lot of fun on that show.
I think we did a shot for Lisa, our resident Cowboys fan.
We did a couple shots on that show. Santa was feeling good. Went home and ate about 30 cookies after those shots because he needed to soak up some of that alcohol.
Especially when you're drinking moonshine.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, it wasn't the light stuff.
Not at all. Not at all. Nor is it the light stuff tonight either.
Yeah.
I'm drinking some nice whiskey.
Yeah.
Good whiskey.
I've been sipping on it a little bit here and there. I need like a chaser or something. I don't have anything with it.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
And then we had the champagne.
Yeah, champagne was really, really good. Wish we had more of that. We got some Jack Daniel's honey and some Coronas back here on ice. So
there's your chaser.
Yeah, there is my chaser. I don't have a bottle opener, though.
It's on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm prepared.
Asking you shall receive.
I'm prepared for this.
Merry Christmas to me.
Yeah, it's not going to work that way. You got to turn it around. I got one of those weird bottle openers. Yeah.
That'll work.
It's the bartending in me.
All right, so let's put it up, man. Cheers to everybody out there that support us. Yeah. All right. We just want to thank each and every one of you guys again for tuning in here. It's been a huge year for us. We talked about this last week, but again, Scott and I haven't known each other for very long, but things happen in mysterious ways, and we've come together, and this show has grown over this past year. I want to say thank you to you, thank you to your family for everything that they've done for me over these past couple of months. You know what I've been going through personally. It's meant a lot to me. So cheers to you, cheers to us, and cheers to Birdland BS and all of our supporters out there for 2019.
Cheers to all of our supporters.
As the Raiders are lined up here to kick the ball off, 12 minutes and 16 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. You see how I went back into serious mode like that?
Yeah, it's
real quick. Raiders kick the ball off as they receive the ball back on about the 4-yard line.
Gonna be Freeman's gonna field it and gets it out to about the 23-yard line. I'm sorry, I've got to comment on this. This field for this game is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean It's again, there's not too many natural grass fields left in the NFL, this being one of them, obviously. This also being a stadium that's shared for baseball and shared for many other events, soccer and all those things. So this field gets a lot of traction and a lot of use on it.
I think Natalie thought we were ending when we were giving the cheers. We're not ending.
Oh, no, not ending. We're going to keep going here till the end. Just wanted to do that before anybody tuned out and while I was thinking about it.
As Keenum is in the gun, trips out to his left, puts tight end Parker in motion out to the left, brings him in by his side. Low snap, fakes the handoff, has to scramble, feeling pressure, scrambles out to the right, looking right downfield, and it's caught by Sutton, but it's incomplete. But there's laundry on the field. Fred, stop leaving your
on the field.
Fred, stop leaving your laundry on the field, dude. How many times have I told you stop leaving your underwear?
I like yellow towels.
You better not like yellow towels.
Except for those terrible towels.
You better not like yellow towels.
I can't stand those.
And it's going to be holding on the defense. Rashawn Melvin will get the holding call against him.
Ed Crasher tunes in, says, better than radio. I can see the commentators. Great job, gentlemen. First time tuning in. Will return. Merry Christmas. Appreciate that.
I think Ed is the person that gave the subscribe about 2-3 minutes ago.
Well, we appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for chiming in and let us know that you were out there and that you were listening and that you like what you see, man. Again, we can take the negative criticism. So anything that you guys see that you want us to work on, let us know. We'll definitely do that.
Keenum in the gun, hands the ball off to Freeman, who's going to bounce out to the left. And he's going to get a gain of about 3, so we're going to see second and
Look
about
at that hair
7.
on Lindsey. It's like flowing in the wind there.
It's a flow fro.
It's a flow fro.
That's exactly what it is. It doesn't even do it.
Cha-cha-cha-chia.
All right. Keenum in the gun, trips out to the right, hands the ball off to Freeman again, who's going to bounce up the center and get a gain of about 3. I went into serious mode.
Yeah, I know. You just shut me down. Like, ha, no. Done, son.
By the way, Kyle said, please put the hashtag Santa's real on a shirt. We really may need to come up with that.
Yeah, we'll have to make that.
We'll have to figure out
maybe
something.
For Christmas next year. We'll get that going a couple weeks before Christmas.
Keenum right back to the line again, trips out to the right. He's got Parker out to his left, Freeman in the backfield next to him to his left, in the gun. Takes the snap, drops back, feels pressure, gets it over the middle. Ooh, it looked like a horse collar tackle there, and they're not going to call it.
It's
Hamilton,
not over yet. Good Lord.
Yeah, Hamilton taken down, made the catch and then taken down by his horse collar.
He gets first down yardage there on a crossing route as the linebacker. I don't want to say it was horse collaring, really, but I mean he did get the arm up underneath the helmet there and pulled him down by his neck.
Keenum's in the gun, trips out to the right. It was originally set up as a screen pass, didn't work out, and then tossed it back out to Patrick again. Keenum again running this 2-minute style offense.
Kale says, all right, got to go to bed. I'll be back for the next episode. Keep up the good work. New favorite YouTuber. That's awesome. We really appreciate that. Have a good night. Merry Christmas. And again, Happy New Year. Happy holidays because we probably won't see you before the new year.
Case in the gun. 2 out to the left. He's going to hand the ball off to Freeman. Freeman's going to get the bounce, and it looks like he may have some first down yardage here. Oh, no, they're going to spot it about a yard short at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like his knee had gone down a little prior to the first down marker there. It's going to bring up third down and short.
Engraven, our buddy Engraven chiming in, says, how's the game been? Is it one of those games that make you drink to be able to enjoy it? I haven't seen a bit of
Cheers, Engraven.
Yeah.
Here's to you. It's been interesting.
As Keenum is in the gun, 2 wide to the right, 1 to the left, drops back. And he's got, who is that over the center? That's Patrick again. These uniforms are getting so dirty, man.
Yeah.
So he's going to hit Patrick for about an 8-yard gain. It's going to be 1st and 10 now.
Engraven, just to answer your question simply, it's what you would have expected out of a Raiders and Broncos game. I think the score may be a little flip-flopped. I would have thought the Broncos would be in the lead here, but
1st and 10 on the 37, and we have a false start, clear as day.
Yeah, the left tackle was doing a little shimmy and a little dance there as he gets called for the false start there.
We dancing tonight?
I'm getting my dance on early.
Yeah, no, Engraven, it has been an interesting game from a defensive standpoint and a special team standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, the big play to start off the game with the punt return for the touchdown on
Harris.
Yeah, by Harris. It was a heck of a play and a heads-up play by Harris on that return.
Keenum's going to have trips out to his left, including Parker. 2 wide receivers to the right. He's looking 5 wide, feels pressure. He's going to hit Freeman over the middle out to about the 35-yard line.
Perfect answer. It's what you would have expected. Right. That's the politically correct answer. I don't want to offend any Oakland or Bronco fans out there. So, yeah, that's the right answer.
All right. As we're going to look at 2nd and 8 now from the Oakland 35, Keenum steps back in the gun, and he's going to hit Sutton over on a crossing route. Sutton's going to get out to about the 28-yard line, it looks like.
Just over 8 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. Again, Oakland leading 24-7. No huddle offense here for the Broncos.
Keenum gets the ball, hands it off to Freeman. Freeman's going to bounce, misses, makes a man miss, makes another man miss, and he's tackled by 2 men at the 19-yard line.
Good run there
1st
by
and
Booker.
10.
Good run, man. He got up the middle.
It was Booker. I said it was Freeman. That's my fault.
That's all right. He got up the middle on the right side of the line there. Got hit by one of the defensive tackles there, bounced off of him, avoids the tackle by Joseph, and then scrounched by his foot, preventing him from a touchdown run there.
7:58 left in the fourth here, and we've got an injury on the field. Looks like it's going to be Hall.
Engraven says, love the setup too. Super cool. Hey, man, we keep working on this thing. We keep adjusting it. We got to find something that we're happy with. So we appreciate the feedback. This is something that we'll probably run with here for a while for Monday Night Football, just to kind of try to get some normalcy behind it. Something that's recognizable as to who you're watching week in and week out. Obviously, we don't have any more Monday Night Football games, but we will run it through some of the playoff games for the rest of the year.
Yeah, we got to figure out schedules and playoff games, especially. We don't even know who's going to be facing who for these playoff games yet.
So for you Raven fans out there, if you guys are Raven fans, if there are any tuning into
even
this stream,
NFL fans, he answers NFL questions.
Or NFL fans. Yeah, he does this whole segment, NFL questions from NFL subscribers. The guy in our chat room right now, Engraven Vids, if you haven't subscribed to his channel yet, please go do. This guy, I mean, he builds his life around doing some of these YouTube videos. It's amazing how much content that he puts out.
Knows his stuff, too.
Knows his stuff just about, the NFL in general. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. We just did a collab video, kind of around the horn style.
You can't say that.
It's around the screen. Around the horn style.
It's around the screen.
We did with some of the local YouTube personalities. Engraven was one of them. Scott and I were on it. Joe Nubo, another guy. If you're a Raven fan out there, go subscribe to him.
NF Podcasts.
Yeah, at NF Podcast. But Joe Nubo on Twitter or on YouTube. And also SCG Sports, who's just kind of getting off the ground with YouTube, still growing his network, but a lot of good inside information and just a bunch of good guys. So make sure you subscribe.
That was a lot of fun. It was a good show.
We'll definitely have to do more work together with all of those guys for sure.
As we wait for them to come back from a commercial break here. Again, we are Birdland BS. As Fred said, we've done some collab videos on YouTube. We are also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You name it, we're there. Our audio podcasts, on our audio podcast, we mainly talk Baltimore sports. That's what we do. That's what we know best. But we've been doing these Monday Night Football games. The feedback from you, the fans, has been overwhelming, that have been calling for more. We've had several people actually make some very nice donations
Yeah.
that have helped us get things like this green screen, the lighting that we have to make this look like a quality setup and a quality show for you. So we really appreciate it. All the links to all of our pages, if you want to donate, that's down there as well. Again, a few people have messaged saying, how do we do that? So that's down below. And then make sure that you visit our website, www.birdlandbs.com. You can check out all of our gear. You can learn about Fred and I and get the episodes of the podcast there as well. Keenum in the gun, 2 wide out to the right, 2 out to the left, scrambling. He's got pressure because they brought 6 on this one. He's still got time. He's back at the 40-yard line right now trying to find somebody to get the ball to. He's out to the 30, and he's intended for Booker, and it is going to be incomplete. All that running for nothing.
Yeah, it was a whole lot of running, a whole lot of time taken off the clock there.
As he scrambled back from the 20, they were at the 19-yard line. And he scrambles all the way back to the 40-yard line trying to get away from this defensive front for Oakland.
John Rios was asking how much time was left. 7 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter.
I think actually when he asked that, I had said 7:58 is where it was at.
I got you.
But 7:40 now. As they continue to try to drive down the field here, he's going to go with one running back set. It's going to be Booker in motion. 3 wide receivers out to his right, 1 out to the left. Looking downfield, feeling pressure again, scrambles out to the right, rolling up to the line of scrimmage, and he's going to throw it out into the end zone. It's caught by Sutton. It's going to be a touchdown. This is going to be close.
He threw close to the line of scrimmage.
He threw this ball at the line of scrimmage. His foot. You have to have 1 foot behind the line of scrimmage, I believe, is what the rule is. Correct?
Yeah,
Fred?
his arm actually his arm only has to be behind the line of scrimmage when he attempts to throw the pass. So as long as part of his body was still behind the line of scrimmage, this will be a touchdown for the Broncos.
Line of scrimmage was.
I think he was good. I think he was clean.
You think he was good? It was close. Here they're going to show the replay, and he does get it off. He gets it off. He is behind the line of scrimmage. It is going to be a touchdown. And now it's going to be a 24-13, and with the extra point, and it's up and good, 24-14. It is now a 10-point. Oh, wait. John Gruden is claiming to have thrown the challenge flag prior to the kick.
There's a timeout, official timeout on the field. They're going over to Gruden to talk to him about it.
All scoring plays are automatically reviewed.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Gruden would be throwing the flag at here.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that would be in question here was whether or not he got that ball off before he was across the line of scrimmage. But to your point, all touchdowns are
all scoring plays are reviewed.
Right. And his foot is behind the line there when he got rid of it. Yes, it's close, but I don't know what the refs are deciding here. I think they may be saying that they
go to commercial break. I think they're going to accept Gruden's challenge on this play. I'd have to look up the ruling here on what would happen here, because under my impression, what is there to challenge if when they look at the scoring play?
Yeah, before they allow them to kick the extra point, they get confirmation upstairs as to if it was a touchdown or not. Now, I don't know if they look at the entire play.
Do they just look at the catch and the reception?
Do they just look at the end result? Right. So if that's the rule that I don't know. So if they're not looking at the beginning of the play where he actually throws the ball, well, then it makes sense why John Gruden would throw the challenge flag there, because it was close. To me, it looked like his back half of his body, his back foot, and the lower half of his body
was basically he was basically straddling the line as he threw it.
And that's enough for it not to be called, illegal throw down the field.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
Pass.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they approach this after we come back from this TV timeout. If I'm making the play call, I think it's good. I knew it was close. The second that he threw the ball, and he hit Sutton in a perfect window there. Yeah. Sutton's catch is kind of a little underrated because Sutton caught it about waist high with the defender draped on him.
Yeah.
So it was a great catch by Sutton at that point, but it just comes down to the question of, was Case Keenum in front of the line of scrimmage, or behind the line of scrimmage, I should say.
Again, you can never count on that line that they give you, through the Monday Night Football stream.
Yeah, no.
It's never 100% accurate, and that's really what we're going off of because that's all we can see is that
it's literally what's
line.
referred to as a green screen line because that's what the field is looked at as a green screen.
Right.
And they project that line on there. That's
right.
what it is.
And it can be off by a foot or foot and a half here and there, one side or the other. So if you're just going by that line, to me he looked like he was behind it, but we'll have to see what the call is here on the field as the ref gets ready to make his call.
As they come back. I still haven't. It looks John Gruden's smiling, but he's telling his defense to come off the field. I think they're saying that this is confirmed at this point.
Yeah, hard to tell what they called on that, but looks like they're confirming the touchdown nonetheless. I don't know if they said it was unchallengeable or what.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We're not clear because we're not getting the audio from it to hear what the head linesman was saying here.
Yeah, they didn't really show him.
But Gruden's definitely not happy, so we're going to go with it was a touchdown. I'd love to hear the explanation behind this after the show just to see what that call was.
All right, so Denver pulls again within 10. Oakland leads 24-14. 7 minutes and 31 seconds left to go in the fourth. Denver again down by 10. They still have a shot. 7 minutes and 31 seconds left. They do have all three of their timeouts. Obviously, they're still going to have the 2-minute warning as well. So if they can get down the field here, at least get 3 points on the board kind of quickly, and then expect your defense to hold, then you're down to one drive to getting back into the game.
If Oakland can get down the field here, I think you got to do it with Doug Martin. You got to burn time off this clock and force them to use those timeouts if they're going to use them. As it's a high short kick fielded at the 16-yard line. Harris is going to get out on the left-hand side, gets out to about the 35-yard line. That was a short kick.
Yeah, it was
not a punt, but a kick.
I don't want to say it wasn't a squib kick, but it was a pop-up basically is what it was. Hoping that they can get their defenders down there to limit the return time for Harris, but didn't get the result that they wanted as Harris was able to get that out across the 35. So we got 7 minutes, 27 seconds left to go in the fourth now. Derek Carr lines the troops up here. He's going to line up in the I formation under center here on first down. He's got 2 tight ends and 1 wide receiver. It looks like they're in a power formation here. They hand the ball off to Doug Martin. Doug Martin's hit at the line of scrimmage. He gains maybe a yard and a half on that play. It's going to bring up second down and a long 8.
Yeah, it's definitely – this is what I was talking about. You got to burn the time off the clock. Just hand the ball to Martin, feed Martin. If you find an open position to be able to throw the ball and have a secure throw to get you some yardage and burn some time, that's the way you can do it. But you have to feed Martin the ball here.
As Carr lines up under center, single back formation. 2 wide receivers out to his left, 2 out to his right. Takes a snap, pitches the ball to Martin to his left. Martin goes left side, but he's got nowhere to go. He does get across the line of scrimmage, maybe gains about 2 yards on the play. It's going to bring up third down and long.
This is not what you want for the Raiders. If you're a Raiders fan, you need them to finish this game.
I think the Raiders are just trying to run timeout as much as they possibly can at this point. They need to get a first down here to run a little bit more out of the clock, but they're just trying to keep the play clock moving.
Yeah, you have to do that, but you can't give them enough time. You can't leave the time on the clock. You have to get a first down here.
Connor, what's up? Merry Christmas to you as well. And yes, the Raiders are winning 24-14 right now. As Derek Carr lines up here in the gun, single back formation, trip wide receivers to his right, play clock ticking down, but he gets it off. He hands it off to Richard. Richard has nowhere to go as he's wrapped up there after a gain of about a yard. It's going to bring up fourth down.
That's where they should have thrown. Denver was bringing 7 at the line.
Yeah.
You should have thrown there. Carr should have read this, that they had 7 guys on the line ready to go to stop this run. That's where you throw it off a little post route to the right as everybody's going to the left.
Denver takes a timeout here. They're going to be down to 2 timeouts left. They're going to get the ball back with just under 6 minutes left to go, trailing by 10. 5:55 left to go in the fourth. For a second there, I thought Gruden was getting ready to send Carr back.
That's what I thought, too.
That's why I stopped for a second. I'm like, what the heck is going on here?
Interesting. Gruden I just read his lips. He just said that was my bad.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's in reference to a play call at the line of scrimmage that Carr should have or could have made.
All right, so the Raiders lined up here for the punt. They get the ball off clean. Looks like a good punt.
Hamilton's going to be back and fields it at about the 11-yard line.
Yeah, so a good punt. So the
I'm sorry, that was Carcraft again.
Broncos are going to come out and have to go 89 yards if they want to get a touchdown. Like I said, I think for me, if you're the Raider or if you're the Broncos, get down into field goal range. If you can't get a touchdown, kick the field goal, take the points, get it within one possession. Ask your defense to hold the Raiders to another 3 and out and get your shot there with the 2-minute warning and a couple timeouts still in your back pocket to tie this game up.
All right. Keenum's going to line up in the gun. He's going to have Booker out to his right. 2 wide receivers set to the left, 2 to the right. Puts Parker, the tight end, in motion, right to left. Takes the snap, drops back, and looks for Hamilton again, but overthrown to the sideline. 2nd and 10 now, 5:43 left on the clock. I tell you what, this defensive front for Oakland is getting back to Keenum, and they are getting back quick, and it's all of them.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of disguising on their blitz packages, and they are getting to Keenum and definitely not making him very comfortable back there in the pocket.
Keenum again in the gun. Freeman to his right. Booker to his right, I'm sorry. Drops back, looks over the center, and it's going to be intercepted by Oakland at the 30-yard line. What a catch.
Picked off by Marcus Gilchrist there with a big interception. That's, I don't want to say it's going to put a wrap on the game, but it's going to put a wrap on the game pretty much.
It's going to be solid state as far as this is concerned. You just drive, you hand Doug Martin the ball.
Yeah.
If you can get the field goal, you take the field goal. At this point, it's enough of a game. Great read there by Gilchrist to get out
throw
in front.
by Keenum. Keenum throws this way too far out in front of Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick had no chance of catching this football. Gilchrist, right place at the right time, reaches up, easy pick, easy interception.
Jim O, I'm not sure if he's referring to us or if he's referring to other people that are watching in the stream, says, do you guys watch other fan reaction shows? We actually do. You and I do.
Yeah, we go into other shows and we interact with a lot of those guys. We do a lot of work with those guys. So Carr here hands the ball off to Martin, as you said, to your point. Martin goes left side of the line, gains about a yard and a half there. It's going to bring up 2nd down.
Our buddy over at Spotlight Sports, Darian, you've done some work with him. Unfortunately, the schedules haven't worked out for me to be able to do it with you guys as well.
Yeah, I talked to the Waterboy Report as well, another guy that does a lot of the live stream. He does a lot of NBA games as well. Sports Fury, I think they're one of the bigger ones that do the live streams like this. They seem to do pretty much every primetime game. So, they
we hate to push you there, but if we're not on.
Yeah,
go check them out. Go check any of them out. Any of those guys that we mentioned.
Yeah, they're a little bit of a different approach than we are, and to each their own. Everybody kind of has their stick, I guess you could say, and we do our thing here. We try to be honest without being vulgar and without being over. What's the word I'm looking for? But
we try not to be too stat heavy either.
Yeah, right. Stat stuffy is
that's what
I was looking for. All right, 5 minutes and 31 seconds left to go. Derek Carr lines up under center in the I formation from the 29-yard line, hands it off to Martin. Martin goes left side. He has nowhere to go. Stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Gain of about maybe 1 there.
Yeah, as Denver's going to have to use another timeout here. Looks like their last timeout of the game.
Jim, I tell you what, they're showing Mark Davis, the Raiders owner. Mark Davis next to John Elway is like night and day when you look at those two guys and how they present themselves. Mark Davis to me looks like John Daly.
Yeah, John Daly's ugly brother.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jonathan Tucker says, hats and T-shirts are not given, they're earned. NFC East champs, bow down. All right.
We know who he's
voting for. I guess you're a
for.
Cowboys fan. We've got a few of you in here. So, hey, appreciate you tuning into the feed for sure. Derek Carr on 3rd down and 7 lines up again in the I formation. 5 minutes and 26 seconds left to go.
From the 28-yard line.
Takes a snap. Play action. Dumps it off to his fullback, but his fullback can't get anywhere either as he's brought down for about a yard gain, but he does stay in bounds. So the clock continues to run here as they're going to get down to probably about 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to go with a field goal opportunity here to go up by 13.
And Oakland at this point has 1 timeout. Denver has no timeouts remaining. So Denver getting the ball back, they are trying to pound downfield as quick as possible.
So Jim says, I'm familiar with all those guys. I think you guys are so pro and fun to listen to. Great job. Your star is rising if you nail down more games. We appreciate that, man. We're, the field goal kick is up and good as Oakland goes up 13 now. But yeah, I mean, with us, obviously, you have a family. We both have full-time careers that we have to worry about. So right now, YouTube is just kind of a part-time hobby type thing that we do because we have a lot of fun with it. As the channel continues to grow, we are seeing more financial potential with it, which is great.
Yeah.
And it's all thanks to all you guys that tune in every week. So, I mean, if it ever turned into something like that where it allowed us to focus more on this and more of the content, by all means, we would definitely put more streams out there and do more of this work. It's just, you got to crawl before you walk. You got to walk before you run. And we're just kind of getting started with this whole thing.
And for me, I have a wife that works retail. So anybody that works retail, you know the hours.
Yeah.
It's never fun. I got out of retail, luckily, and she's still there. But it's one of those things that it's tough, especially, she's higher up on the food chain, so she has to be available when basically nobody else is.
I got to ask one more time. So while you guys are there, I know we're getting ready to wrap up this game with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. If you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up, hit that like button. It means the world to us. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and turn on your notifications so that way anytime we do go live with one of these streams or we go live with our podcast, you guys will be the first to find out about it. We appreciate your tuning in, even for the ones that aren't chiming in. We love the fact that you guys are taking time out of your holiday to listen in to us as we broadcast this game.
As the kick is up and Booker's going to field it out of his end zone and gets it out. He's going to bounce out, pass the tackler, and he's going to get out to about the 30-yard line. Let's see where they spot this. Could be about the 29 or the 30.
On the field.
You and your laundry on the field all the time.
Looks like there was an illegal block in the back on that play, so a pretty decent return is going to be negated for the Broncos, as the Broncos are going to be pushed back probably close to, I would think, about the 15-yard line.
Should be right in that area. Looks like they're going to spot it about the 18 here. So if you are Case Keenum and this Denver office, are you taking a shot?
You got to at this point. I mean, that's what they did on their last drive. Yes, it was a turnover.
I'm talking deep shot.
Yeah, you're down 13 points. You got 4 minutes, 33 seconds left to go with no timeouts.
Keenum pulls Booker in to his left. It's going to be a screen pass over to Booker. Booker's going to get out to about the 22-yard line. So we're going to see a gain of about 4.
Those kind of plays are not going to work.
Yeah, no.
You got to take chunk yardage off at this point.
It also didn't help that he was immediately being chased in the pocket there. And Oakland's only bringing 4, so it tells you something about this Denver line. As he's in the gun, drops back, looking left. He's going to hit Hamilton. Hamilton's going to get out of bounds and get about 3 on the play. Again, that's not going to help. We're now looking at 3rd and 4 for this Denver offense. With
good thing there was
left
he was able to get out of bounds, though, to stop the clock. So 3rd down and 4, 4 minutes and 2 seconds left to go. Again, Denver has no timeouts. They cannot stop the clock. They will have the 2-minute warning, but they got to score 2. They're down 2 scores, so they got to have 2 possessions.
All right. Keenum making the play call at the line, making an adjustment. In the gun, has Booker to his left, 2 wide receivers to his right, 1 to the left. Puts wide receiver in motion. Drops back just before the clock goes off. He scrambles, gets past the line, and goes down
There's a flag on the
play.
field.
He gets the first down and more. It looks like he got a gain of about 7 there, but it's going to be called back because of a holding penalty on the Denver Broncos.
Holding on the offense.
The Broncos this game are just killing themselves with his penalties, not only on offense, but on defense as well.
Yeah, any big play opportunities that they've had or larger gains throughout this game, they have just shot themselves in the foot continuously, one time after the other.
Hey, I appreciate that, Jimmo. He says 31 watching, only 25 likes, got 6 holdouts. Come on, guys, hit the like button and get these guys calling out a great game.
Appreciate that, man. Really do. Thank you.
All right, as we see Keenum, he's got trips out to his right, one out to the left. Looks like he's got Freeman in the backfield to his left. Drops back, dumps it off to Freeman. Freeman drops it, and they're going to call this an incomplete pass, but another flag on the field.
There's a flag on the field. Who needs sound effects? I'll just do it.
Yeah, right? and a holding.
Another holding. Surprise, surprise. But they are going to decline that as it brings up 4th down and 14.
Chichinka Joe says Pats Seahawks 2 at Super Bowl. He's calling it. That's a bold prediction with the other teams in this run.
There's a lot of strong teams on both sides of the I mean, look, I can't say it's not possible, right? I mean, these are two teams riding high right now, playing good football, so it could very well happen.
Keenum, 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 tight end set to the right, 1 receiver set to the left. Booker in the backfield to his left. And
what do you know?
Well, another flag on the field.
False start.
That was Jared Veldheer, the right tackle, jumping and moving before anybody else.
Do a little dance. Make a little love.
These guys just want to get to their Christmas party, apparently.
Man. Somebody on that offensive line's been too heavy in the eggnog already.
They all are. That's why none of them can block either, man. This is the thing about this offensive line this game. It's the penalties that are killing them. It's their inability to block in this game against an Oakland Raiders defense, which we played against, and they're okay front line on the defense, but they're not a top tier front line defense.
This is just undisciplined football.
Yeah. As he's in the gun, 3 wide receivers out to the right, sends Freeman in motion to the left, drops back from his own end zone, looking downfield, and it's intercepted again, being taken back to the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. Who was that for Oakland? Number 25.
Eric Harris. Eric Harris with the interception there. Big pick there to solidify the game as everybody is high-fiving in Oakland. As it looks like Oakland's going to go out on a bang here on Monday Night Football in their last game, more than likely.
As we just saw Gorilla Santa Claus.
Their last game in the Coliseum. That basically puts a wrap on everything. All Oakland needs to do is come out and just run some clock out. They're going to have to get 1 first down to be able to take some knees, but once they get that, that's a wrap on this game.
If Martin's got a free clean shot to the end zone, does he take it?
I don't think so. But I don't know. We'll see. Carr's lined up in the I formation. He hands it off to Martin, and Martin's hitting in the backfield. Hit pretty strongly there. There's some obvious frustrations on the defensive side.
That was
Denver.
Almost he just like clotheslined him into a headlock. It almost seemed.
Get over here.
Yeah, right.
It's like a finishing move from Mortal Kombat.
Then he throws him to the ground and finish him. Wow, what a play.
Joe, when is the next flag? Yeah, right, exactly. I think the refs are probably just like, you know what, let's get out of here. Right. Just keep the flags in your back pocket.
Right. Nobody throw any more flags tonight, please.
As Derek Carr lines up again in the I formation under center, he's got Harris out to his right. Doug Martin in the back. He hands it off to Martin. Martin gets back to the line of scrimmage, but that's as far as he goes.
Maybe a yard.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 48 seconds left to go. This is going to they're going to have one more play here before the 2-minute warning.
Maybe 3rd and 9? Yeah, 3rd and 9.
Yeah, 3rd and 9. Denver has no timeouts.
The play clock is about 10 seconds faster than the game clock right now. Game clock just hit 2:30.
Ed says, again, this game is over, but I'm going to listen to the broadcast to the end. You gentlemen are great. We appreciate that, man.
Ed,
again, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Happy holidays. Appreciate you tuning in to us on Christmas Eve here for this Monday Night Football game. Derek Carr in the eye. Hands the ball off to Martin. Surprise, surprise. He goes to the middle, and here it is. Oh, he gets tackled. He gets the first down, and he's down at about the 7-yard line.
He gets it at the 2-minute warning as we hit the 2-minute warning.
Yeah. Now all Oakland needs to do is come out, take 3 knees, and this game is over.
In the books.
Wow. Big win here for Oakland, just from a sentimental standpoint. Again,
coming into this game 3-11.
Yeah, regardless of the record and regardless of the season that they've had and regardless of this game not having any playoff implications, again, this is a city that's losing an NFL football team. And us being Baltimore sports fans, we know what that's like, losing the Colts back in '83. Now, granted, I was born in '82, so I was young, very young. I didn't understand it when it happened, but I know the history of it. I know how it affected a lot of my family members and how it affected a lot of my friends' family members. To have a team that you grew up rooting for, if you're a fanatic, if you're a sports fanatic, you know what you invest into a sports team emotionally. I mean, it's fun, it's entertainment. We get that. But, you grow an emotional attachment to a team, and this is a team that's leaving Oakland. And it's not
with a fan base that is emotional more than any other fan base in the NFL.
Exactly, and it's not due to lack of fan support. I mean, that's really not what this is about. This is all about stadium funds and the city not being able to come up with the money to support a new stadium being built in Oakland. Unfortunately, this is the business side of the NFL, and this is, again,
it comes
something that happens in the NFL. Unfortunately,
it comes down to part of the problem with Oakland. And I say a problem, but it's really not. But it's, I think, a good portion of the reason. It's a working class city. It really is.
Jim says, "Woohoo! Let's take this broadcast into OT."
And there's the first kneel from Carr.
I think OT is not possible in this one. As Carr takes his knee.
And nothing came off the play clock there.
I think that was just a
glitch in the system.
Glitch in the play clock there. But,
so that city it's a working class city. It's a bunch of fans that they want something to root for. Losing the Warriors, the potential now of also losing the A's. I don't know how the city's not in more of an uproar.
Yeah.
Look, I know there's not a lot of financial backing in the city of Oakland itself. A lot of it is done through the city, and the city's poor from the words that I've been hearing, the words I've been understanding. They don't even have the thought process to think that a new stadium is even possible.
Right.
1:18 is where we're at on the clock as they take another
Carr
knee.
lines up in victory formation, takes yet another knee. We'll do one more of these knees, and that's going to be a wrap here on Monday Night Football.
Yeah. So. But I think that's a good point to your, when this city is losing a team like this, to go out on a game like this and put up what nobody expected in this game,
right? To
be a 27-14 game and to start off the way that it did with the run back by Harris,
right?
With the touchdown by Carr. I think it was Martin or Richard that scored the other one,
right?
Nobody really expected this.
And again, you do it against one of your biggest rivals, obviously a division rival. This would be the equivalent of the Ravens going against the Steelers on a final game, something like that.
They just took the knee to finish it out.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's, again, a lot of emotions, I'm sure, running strong in Oakland, as this will probably be one of the last times that they'll see them on a field in Oakland.
Yeah, I feel bad for those fans.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what they were going through, because it's such a question mark right now. So only time's going to tell what's going to happen here. I think you'll see the media and them stick around. Derek Carr is kind of waving to all the fans now. I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of these fans maybe stick around a little bit here, because it is such a question mark, for these players to maybe come back out. And I think it'll be good on the players if they do stay out or if they do come back out to at least acknowledge these fans.
Shashinka Joe says, "Thanks for making me smile tonight. I needed this." We appreciate that,
Joe.
man. Again, condolences to you and your family out there. Sorry for your loss. But thank you for spending your Christmas Eve with us. We want to thank all of you again for spending your Christmas Eve with us. This was a lot of fun for us. These Monday Night Football streams, it was a new venture for us. We understand that we're not the best at this thing, but we're trying to do everything that we can to improve on a week-to-week basis. So all your feedback, we take all that very seriously in trying to make the product a lot better. So if there's anything that you guys feel we could have done a little bit better with this, please let us know. Don't be afraid to tell us, because we want to make sure that 2019, when we come back with these Monday Night Football streams, that they are the best that they possibly can be.
And even after we go off air here, you can always reach out. You see both of our handles straight above us. I'm Scott at Scott BLBS. He's at Fred BLBS. That's our Twitter handles. You can check us out there. Also at Birdland BS. You can check us out on Facebook. Facebook.com/BirdlandBS. You're here on our YouTube page. Make sure you hit the subscribe and the alert buttons so you know when we go live. You can check out all of our content on our website as well, www.birdlandbs.com. There's a section about Fred, myself, our other co-host Ryan for our normal podcast. We also have our gear page. I'm sitting here wearing one of our shirts and also one of our hats, but we also have our hashtag Lamar Effect shirts there. We might have to go with Kyle's piece and hashtag Santa is real. We might have to figure that out. I'm going to figure that out for next year and put that into play. But we want to thank all of you guys for tuning in. We know this is going to sound really cliche-ish, but we know that you guys have many options in who you choose to watch Monday Night Football. Thank you for choosing Birdland BS to view your show this evening.
No, we do. No. We greatly appreciate it. We will be back for sure for the playoffs. We just got to figure out what the playoff schedule is going to be. We will put – that's why it's important for you guys to – if you're on Twitter, follow us on Twitter. You can follow him at Scott BLBS, me at Fred BLBS, or you can follow the Birdland BS page at Birdland BS. Or if you're not on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, look us up there at Birdland BS, because that's going to be where we make the announcement as to when we will be doing the live streams for the playoff game. So if you want to get the alert ahead of time – that's where you're going to find it, is Twitter and Facebook. So be sure to follow us on all those streams.
Before we go off air real quick, I have to point out your hardware that you're sitting here wearing.
Oh, yeah,
because you had your belt on earlier. now you got your.
I've had these on all game.
Yeah, you've got
them on all game.
He's got his replica Ravens Super Bowl rings on.
Bling bling.
You were so proud of that fantasy football championship.
I am proud of the fantasy football championship, but here's to the Ravens winning hopefully this Sunday and getting into the playoffs as division winners, the AFC North champions, and going on a playoff run. Who knows? This Lamar Effect thing could take off at the right time, lead us to another Super Bowl.
I hope so.
3 since 96, since our inception in 96. That's pretty damn good. So,
quick recap on stats real quick, because I'm sure that there's a few people still tuning in to hear those. Case Keenum, 23 for 37 for 202 yards, averaging 5.5 yards, 2 TDs and 2 interceptions. Philip Lindsay led the offense in rushing, 10 carries for 46 yards. And then we also had on the receiving side of the ball, Sutton, 6 receptions for 65 yards. Patrick, 3 receptions for 44 yards. And Hamilton, 6 receptions for 40 yards. Overall, as a team, 23 receptions for 202 yards and 24 carries for only 100 yards for the Broncos. For the Raiders, Derek Carr went 19 for 26 for 167 yards. Doug Martin, 21 carries, 107 yards. We also had Richard with the 1 touchdown along with Martin. 4 carries on 11 yards for Richard. Jordy Nelson led the receiving corps, 7 receptions for 75 yards, averaging 10.7 yards per carry. Richard also 4 receptions on 40 yards, and then Cook 2 receptions for 20 yards. So overall, a very defensive game when you looked at this game. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in, everybody for watching us. Be sure, like Fred said, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on your alerts. Even if you've already subscribed, go turn on the alerts, because the playoff brackets and setups have not been announced yet. So that is another thing that is going to play a role. Once they are fully announced, once we know the matchups, that's when we'll get it out there. Maybe Fred or you or I will get out just a quick video that tells them what games we will be doing, so that everybody can tune in. And Carr now going around, literally walking around the stadium, greeting all of the fans at field level.
Yeah. That's an emotional moment, man. Like I said, this isn't, if you're not an Oakland fan, if you're a football fan, a true football fan, you can appreciate this. This is a city losing its team. They'll always be Raiders fans, and I'm sure even when the team moves to Vegas, they'll still root for their team. But at the end of the day, not having him in your backyard to root for him anymore, it's got to be tough.
It's definitely got to be tough. So, all right, guys. Well, for Birdland BS, for our Monday night podcast or Monday night commentary shows, we're glad to do this. Great. This has been a fun time, Fred. I cannot wait until we start doing Monday nights next year, and who knows, maybe there might be some more in store. We'll have to see how schedules work out. But for Birdland BS, I'm Scott.
I'm Fred.
We're signing off. See you guys.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.